And good Saturday morning, everybody. Great to have you with us once again.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Oh, and just as that thing was playing, I knocked over my drink here and spilled it all over the place. Oh, my gosh. I told you it's a comedy of errors this morning. Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah, I can laugh because I do that a lot.
Oh, holy cow. How you been this past week?
It's been pretty good. It was a busy week at work, but got the weekend off. No music this weekend, but we do have to play Monday night because it's Cinco de Mayo. And we're playing at a Mexican restaurant called Jalapenos. It's a great venue. Get to play outside, and so we're gonna do that for 2 or 3 hours after work. So gonna have fun, but gonna be tired. But like I say, got Dad back home last weekend. And thank you to everyone that sent prayers and well wishes. You are greatly appreciated. A lot of comments on the last video I did, and haven't got around to answering everybody yet, but I will get to you. But big thank you for being so kind.
Cool beans. Glad he's feeling better, and glad they got that under control. So, well, this just yesterday, me and the missus got to go to our first Ollies. They're like, woohoo! Because for a couple of years now, I've heard a lot of the community talking about, the deals that they get there and stuff like that. And I can see why they would get on there and talk about it, because they had some great deals. I picked up some comics that I'll show, and I picked up this big book about pulps. It's a huge book, and it regularly sold for like $65, and I got it for like $12.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was unbelievable. So we picked up a few other things for the house and stuff like that. Me and the missus really, really enjoyed the store. We look forward to getting back there. Right now, it was the second day they were open, so it was just a mob house.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah. So now, do you have one local to you down there?
About 10 minutes away. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I stopped in there yesterday to pick up something.
They had so much stuff there. We really, because it was so full, we didn't get to see only about 25% of the store. I was really on the hunt for the graphic novel section. I found that way up in the front corner. After we made it the loop all the way around.
Yeah, I know. I know when they first came out around here a few years ago. I mean, they had all kinds of, all comic stuff, but it had a lot of those old DC archives. And I picked up probably 7 or 8 of them where they would go for $50. You get it for $8 or $9. Still in the shrink wrap. So I picked up like the 2 Commandy Archives editions, and there's some Supermans and maybe a Justice League. And I was like, wow, So,
that's what I was looking for, brother. I was looking for stuff like that, and they had a lot of these.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of those. Yeah.
So, but still, it's a great deal. What is it? $6? Yeah, $6 for 5 books.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of those, and like I said, I got a big book I'll show later on, and whatnot. And we got all kinds of stuff to show today, don't we?
Good deal. Yeah.
Well, let's bring in the peanut guy. Let them enjoy it too. How's that?
Let's do that.
Okay.
The peanut gallery's on the run. We got the comics, you bring the fun. Saturday morning, time to cheer. Man, we're glad you're here. North, south, east, and west, peanut gallery, you're the best. All our friends, both far and near. Man, we're glad you're here.
Indeed. Glad you guys are here this morning. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday with us once again.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Was that?
I said we appreciate it as always.
Absolutely.
Hitting the volume.
There you go. Oh, all right. Well, we're going to start off like we always do. We've got Anthony Purdue and his comic book childhood memory. So here we go. All right. And we got Anthony Purdue. Whoops. No, let's not act up here, mouse. My mouse has been giving me problems this morning and last week too. So, all right. Here's Anthony, and he says, "Good morning, Peanut Peers. Guardian Angels read comic books. In 1990, at the home base located in the basement of a seedy apartment building, there was a coffee table with comics.
Some members took their code names from comic book characters. Some members were influenced by heroes like Captain America, Daredevil, Batman, and others. We had members who were former military.
Oh. A couple of guys were mercenaries who go on missions, then come back to patrol with us for a few days. We patrolled the seamier streets of Hollywood.
We stopped some bad situations from happening, and we intervened when some were taking place. I spent a whole year with a great bunch of guys. At the end of that year, members got sent
to other states, and the Hollywood Guardian Angel headquarters ended its operations. Oh, man.
Then last month, I found out that David, a current coworker of mine, was also a Guardian Angel. He was a member for 2 years from 1977 to 1979. We talked about our experiences.
It was cool knowing that Guardian Angels read comic books. Teddy says hi to all his friends, and we will catch the replay. Take care, everyone. Oh, thank you so much, Anthony, man. That was pretty. I remember the Guardian Angels.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about that in a long time, yeah, but I have heard of them. Yeah.
I remember Curtis Sliwa. He would seem to be like the national spokesman, and he would be on every once in a while. He'd be on like the Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show or one of the other talk shows. I remember seeing him on there. But I always thought that was a pretty admirable thing to do, was to be out there and patrolling, because sometimes, man, the police can't be everywhere,
right.
You know.
True.
So I think they provided a really good service to the community. So very cool, Anthony. Thank you so much. And everybody says hi to Teddy, I'm sure. Okie dokie. And we know what comes up next. All right. Did you get a chance to see?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right. Because you're going to carry the bulk of it.
No mercy. No mercy.
All right. Easy Comic Reader. How you doing, Mike? He says, good morning, everyone. He got some sunshine. He's waving. He says, this week, a little CCR slightly altered by ECR called Traveling Van. All right. Here we go.
Okay. Let's try this. This is pretty fast. Here we go.
Okay.
Internet signals coming out of the sky. Won't you link me up to Maine on a morning ride? I want to groove. Hanging with the CBM. Yeah. When I'm streaming across the land, trying to tune in, man, hanging with the CBM. Yeah, that's cool. That's one of my favorite CCR songs. Yeah, that's a rocker.
Yeah, that certainly was. That was a snappy little tune there. Mike, thank you so much once again for the comic musical stylings of Easy Comic Reader. Thank you again.
Go, currently on volume 5 of the greatest hits.
Absolutely. I got to put together, I really got to try and work on that and put together a thing. Just all those clips. Can you imagine that? And then post them just on here, just the music.
How about we just list the songs? I don't want to see myself singing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Nah, you can do whatever you want, man. Not like I've seen myself sing before, so, you know.
All right, and we know who's up next. She's back. That's right, the Baroness of the Blue Wrench herself, Maranya, is back. Great to have you back, Maranya. Glad you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah.
And she says, "Good morning, Anthony. I remember the guardian angels being a big deal. Cool to know that you were one of them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very cool."
And she says, glad to hear that Teddy is doing well. My thoughts and prayers go to both you and Teddy, Anthony.
Cool beans. The same for us. And she says, "ECR, that is another perfect song for the CBM crew. I see Dolly June and Amos Moses rocking right along to the tune." Yes, sirree.
And she says, good morning to Rod, Shannon, the Peanut Gallery, the Nuts of the Day, the Foos, the studio audience, and Maranya's Legion of Peanut Pets. Thank you for all your well wishes. I truly missed you all.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. So glad to have you back. You were very missed last week. So thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us once again, keeping us in line here. So, and I want to play the Legion of... All right, there we go. We got the Legion of Peanut Pets in there as well. And Maranya says, this is her childhood comic book memory as well. Cool beans. She says, as a kid, involved once going once a year, yes, once a year, to the Red and White store in Long Beach, North Carolina, when we were on vacation from 8 to 16.
My older brother and I pulled our money, $3, and he let me pick out the comic books. That was an inch plus thick stack of 4-color goodness at 15 to 25 cents per book, depending on the size.
Oh, yeah. I'd go to DC Books because they were usually one-shots. I liked Marvel characters more, but unless I could find both ends of a story on the spinner rack, I'd sadly put the Marvel books back on the rack.
Back at the family cottage on the beach, I'd settle down in a big easy chair with some Kool-Aid, fruit punch, or lemonade, cooled down with ice cubes made with the opposite drink in the comic books.
Oh, I had one of two snacking choices: frozen mini Milky Ways and Three Musketeer candy bars at a 2-inch stack of, or a 2-inch stack of sliced hard salami and the 3-inch stick of pepperoni. Surprisingly, I never got anything on the books.
And she says, sadly, none of the comic books ever made it home. That's the worst part right there.
Yeah, exactly.
The books.
My other memory around that time was going crabbing in the crab pond across the street and behind our family beach cottage. We'd gather up chicken necks, backs, and wings, and in summer, and...
Thank you for listening to my childhood comic book memories. Now back to our regularly scheduled program on WSAN 75, the home of comic book memories.
Thank you so much for that story, Maranya, and it's so good to have you back. Thank you so much.
Great.
Glad you are feeling better. So, welcome back. All right, who else we got in the peanut gallery today? We got Jay Lucian. How you doing, Jay?
Hey, Jay.
He says, morning. I'm going on 3 hours sleep. Ugh.
That sounds like my regular day right there.
Oh, ouch.
And Ron says, good morning to you, Jay. I got about 7 hours here, which is my usual average. I'm jealous.
And Maranya also says, can you watch this from under a blanket, Jay? If so, I highly advise it, or watch it on the replay, she says.
And Jay says, Maranya, good to see you. You and your brother were pretty tight, huh?
And Jay also says, laugh out loud. I'm in bed under a blanket now. There you go.
Good man.
What's wrong with that, Jay?
And she says, as kids, yes, we kind of had to be as we'd share games and such for the most part.
She also says he's a year and 15 days older than I am.
I figured it out, and he was the honeymoon baby, and I was the first anniversary baby.
And Jay says, that's cool. Wow, y'all are close in age.
Yeah. And Jay says, LOL, you did the research.
Maranya says he taught me how to play chess and backgammon, and we'd get to stalemates in Monopoly.
Oh, yeah. Me and my cousins used to have marathon Monopoly games.
Yeah.
And Brian says, just out of morbid curiosity, Jay.
Jay says he's laughing out loud. He says, I think we all do that. I think you'd be right.
And he says, August 75 for my concepts. Oh.
And Jay says, geez, Rod, going to read these? LOL. Yes, we are, Jay.
And she says, poor Rod will be redder than Iron Man's armor.
Oh. And Maranya also says, if Shannon's here, he can alternate. There you go.
Yeah, I've heard a lot worse. Let's put it that way. And I am one of us is here. Hey.
How you doing? I am one of us.
And he says, hi, Dr. Silver Age. Good morning.
And good morning to you, sir. And hope everything's going well. And Dale Bonds is here. Hey, Dale.
What's up, cuz? Yeah, he said he watched some of the last week, and he didn't see me on there. And then I guess he drove his mom. My aunt, she lives on the same road as my folks. It's my mom's sister. And he drove by and didn't see my dad's truck, so he thought, so what's wrong? But yeah, we got him back home. So
hey, he's saying good morning to all, and a good morning to you, sir. Hope everything's going well over there today.
And Ryan says, good morning, I am one of us. And Dale?
I am one of us says, hey, good morning, Maranya, and I'm glad you're doing better, and you're back today. Yes, so are we all. Awesome.
And Missy Mars in the house. Welcome, sir.
Double M, how you doing?
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's always happy to be on Saturday and be on here and not have to work and not have to be anywhere. That's just my perspective,
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you. Happy Saturday to you, Double M. Great to have you with us once again. And Maranya says, me too. I am one of us. Good morning, Double M and Ludwig.
And she says, hello also to George, Domino, Rosie Lavender, and Crowley. Thank you very much.
And Michael Taylor is with us. How you doing, Michael?
Welcome, Michael.
Good morning, sir. Hope everything's going well. Thank you again for spending your Saturday with us once more. He says good morning to Rod and Shannon, and good morning to you, sir.
Ron says good morning, Michael.
Michael M says good morning, Maranya. Glad to have you back and well. Awesome.
And Werewolf by Lunchtime is in the house. Welcome.
How you doing, Werewolf?
And he says the two sexiest men on YouTube. Sorry, Werewolf, but I must laugh. But thank you. We'll be in the chat. Isn't that right, Jackson?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well.
Oh, in the chat. Okay, I just got that. Two sexiest men will be in the chat. Isn't that right, Jackson? Yeah, that's why I was laughing. First, I thought he was talking about us. Well, yeah, that is funny.
Oh, man. They're going to put me to the test this morning. They're going to make me cough. You watch.
Yep. Apparently.
Well, Werewolf, so great to have you with us here once again, my friend. And one of us says, "Hello, Shannon. Nice to see you."
Nice to be here. Thank you very much. And Ron says, become a member of Ollie's Army and get on their mailing list, Rod. You'll get emails 2 times a week with all of their great deals. Yep. You'll get a little card, and every so often you get a flyer like 15% off your whole purchase. So
wow.
It's a good place to go.
Yeah, they kept recommending us to go over there, like when we checked out and stuff like that. But it was just too many people, so we just said, yeah, we're definitely going to come back, and we're definitely going to be joining Ollie's Army. I love the fact that they had these signs up around the stores that were just funny, cute sayings and stuff like that. It kept you entertained while you're waiting in line and stuff. It really was a cool place.
Yeah, you can get online and become part of that Army thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got a website.
Oh, well, I'll have to do that. We can check that out. But yeah, it's only about a little less than 30 minutes away from us. It's up where actually I have relatives that live up that way and stuff, so I'm very familiar with the area. So it was fun. We got to go up there. We went into Ollie's for about an hour or so, and then we I know you'll find this hard to believe, but I went and had some pizza. I know. Who'd have thunk it, right? You know. You're right, Maranya, though. Thank you so much for that information. I will be part of Ollie's Army soon. I'm just so thrilled that we have one now local, and I can find some really good deals. So. And Maranya also says, hey there, werewolf. Is the Mrs. Enrico keeping you in line?
And Michael Taylor said, how are you, werewolf? You talking about me? I know you've been talking about me. Hey, Tempest.
How you doing, Tempest? Hope everything's going well on your side of the planet. Great to have you with us once again.
Absolutely. And Maranya says, good morning from this side of the pond, TFM.
Cool beans. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, Mrs. Werewolf worked a 16-hour day today. Hopefully she will be back for the second hour. Holy cow, 16-hour days?
That's a long one, yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Oh, God bless her.
Maranya says, yikes, have her put her feet up and rest after that, werewolf. Rico will need to play nurse for her.
There you go. Werewolf by Lunchtime also says, haha, nice try, Michael. How are you?
And Werewolf says, Rico's having a nap, after roof climbing day.
Michael Taylor says, Werewolf, good. And good, thanks. And you?
And Werewolf says, just relaxing after tidying up the house. Thanks, Michael.
Cool beans. All right, Maranya is laying down the pause line in honor of Pauline and Cat Murdoch. So what do you say, brother? You got some books to share?
Yeah, I'll show some stuff. I was on the Graphic Man stream the other night, and I showed had a couple rounds, and then my internet went out. So I haven't got back to Micah to say, sorry, my internet went out. So for all of you guys that were on there or watching that one, I apologize. Just having some Wi-Fi problems, but had a great time on there. Had some great people, and glad to be back this week on CBM. So I'll show some stuff I showed the other night. For those of you that didn't see that, got some black and white horror here. Haunt of Horror #1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I love these Marvel magazines, man. They got great stories and artwork. Didn't get a whole lot of them when I was a kid, but learned to appreciate them later on. Here's Haunt of Horror #4 with the great Bob Larkin painted cover.
Hey, that looks like, what's his name there? The guy that turns into the demon there, Jason.
Oh, Jason Blood, yeah. It does. And here we have issue #1. Our buddy Simon Garth, Tales of a Zombie.
Yes.
Good stuff. And Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction #1.
Oh, I saw you showing a bunch of these.
Yeah.
I forgot all about these.
Yeah, there was just 6 issues, and they had like a special or annual. I think it reprinted some of the other stories, but great artwork and great story. Besides, and I mentioned this the other night, other than the Planet of the Apes black and white magazine, this is my favorite of that.
Yeah.
So
It's like, oh, that's another rabbit hole.
oh yeah, and they're not that much. I mean, so you can find them pretty well on the cheap. It's just kind of hard to find them sometimes. Here we have another number one. And this is probably my favorite cover. This is by Mike Kaluta.
Oh, yes.
War Toy. It's a really good story.
You know, when you were showing them the other night, and I remembered a few of the covers, and I'm like, oh, wow, I remember those.
Right. Number 2 again.
Yeah.
And number 3. Cool cover. Got some great comic stories. Got some great articles by some sci-fi writers like Harlan Ellison, Larry Niven, Frank Herbert. There's another number 3. I think I got doubles of all of them. And this is a pretty cool cover. This is number. Yeah, I think I'm missing a couple here. They're out of order. One. Number 5.
Very nice.
Here's number 6. This is a good story. And another number 6. I think I bought this when I was a kid. There was a you buy comics, but they had the date of the price stamp on the actual book. So I think you get like 4 books for 89 cents.
Oh, wow.
That was a popular store in my area where we lived. And that was actually where they had the spinner rack where they had like all the comic packs, the 3-packs, DC and Marvel. That's where I got my Batman 251.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And here is the Giant Size Special Issue number 1. And here's a great painted cover by Don Newton.
Nice.
And another great painted cover by Don Newton. Got a few Harvey comics. I showed some of these the other night. And I think all but maybe a few are like square bound books. So Richie Rich Millions. That was number 43. Here's number 45. Rod and I talked about these little faces on the side, little vignettes, kind of remind you of the JLA, JSA team ups.
Yep, a little roll call.
There's a nice square bound goodness there. Lots of bang for your 25 cents. Here's number 17. This looks like a childhood copy. It's pretty beat up.
Well loved indeed.
Richie Rich Success, number 7. We got a date stamp on that one. So pretty cool. And number 31 of that same title. Yeah, it must suck to be sick in that house. Number 17. Oh, Richie climbing Mount Richie. And Richie Rich Dollars and Cents number 41.
How many titles did they have?
There between that and Casper and all that, there must have been any one time probably 20 titles, 20 Richie Rich titles.
Unbelievable. Wow.
And I was a big fan of Sad Sack, so here's Sad Sack Laugh Special, number 36, with a cover from the original artist, George Baker.
It's so weird because we very rarely saw Harveys around here.
Yeah, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites, Spooky, from Spooky Spooktown, number 23. Yeah, my 3 favorite characters, I mean, even though I love Richie Rich and Casper, Spooky and Hot Stuff and Stumbo are my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of hot stuff, here's number 106. And for another number 106. Man, that multiple copy sickness. Yeah. Oh, that had a date stamp on it there.
Yeah, that's cool. Did Hot Stuff ever make it to the cartoons?
You know, I have no idea because those cartoons weren't on. I've still never seen those cartoons.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they weren't on here anywhere in Kentucky that I knew of, unless it had to be like cold weather and you had to like get up and like twist the antenna on the house or put the booster on, to get like channels from Cincinnati or West Virginia or somewhere. But yeah, I never saw the cartoons. I've seen clips of them on YouTube, obviously. But, yeah. Here's some more Sad Sack last special from 1967.
Nice.
And Sad Sack's Army Life. I'm not really sure I think 16. This cover's kind of worn. This looks like another childhood copy. Yeah, I probably found this one at a yard sale because this one is from like 1967. Richie Rich Dollars and Cents. Have your own gold-plated swing set and robot.
Yeah, nice.
Good to be Richie. The cool thing about Richie is he didn't care. He didn't think it was a big deal. And we have Sad Sack World, number 19. I guess he was sadder in this book than he was the other ones because he had it pretty bad. Richie Rich Success Stories, number 37. Like I say, for the most part, these square-bound babies we enjoy so much. And I was telling Rod earlier, these are books you don't really have to get invested in a 6 or 8 part multi-epic story like you would with DC or Marvel or some of these other companies. You can just, if you don't want to, overtax your brain, you can just kind of sit down and have a few giggles. More Sad Sack.
Love it.
And Spooky 136 with a 20-cent cover. Richie Rich Millions, 27.
You got money pox.
He's got money pox. He does. He had it twice.
Oh, jeez.
And Richie Rich Millions, number 26. That's one of his worst nightmares, his pile of money falling on him. Or chasing him, I don't know. And Richie Rich Millions, number 14. And the little oddball superhero thrown in here. Unearthly Spectaculars, number 2, starring Jack Quick Frost.
Yeah, Jack Q. Frost.
And this has got some great artists in it. You got Joe Simon, Wally Wood, Jack Sparling, Al Williamson, Gil Kane, Mike Sikowski, Joe Giella. And you got a Goodyear ad by Neil Adams in here, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
1966.
Cool beans.
And this is an old one, about 7 years before I was born. Little Audrey Comics, number 49. A 10-cent cover.
I remember the Little Audrey cartoons.
And more Spooky, 90, 1966.
Oh, that's a nice black cover right there. That's cool.
And Baby Huey, number 33, from 1961.
Baby Huey.
Baby Huey. And there's some Stumbo. Here's Stumbo Tiny Town, number 1. And there was 13 issues, and all of these were square bound, so working slowly to complete this one. Number 4.
Nice.
Number 7. More Sad Sack, number 209. Loved by Millions, from 1969.
Wow.
Windy Witch World is another great cover. Number 2. Square bound goodness with a black cover.
Yeah, that's a nice cover, too.
Casper's Ghostland and All His Friends, number 15. And this has got a date stamp, July 3, 1962, looks like.
Holy mackerel. That was just a mere 6 days before I was born.
That's right, you are older than me. Casper's Ghostland and His Friends, number 14.
Very cool.
And more Richie Rich Millions, number 29. Stick 'em up.
That's it.
And last but not least, Richie Rich Millions number 41.
All right.
Gold-plated dragster there, and you got Cadbury with a jetpack. Wow.
His own flying pit crew.
His own flying pit crew. This is true.
All righty. Let's get back together here. Thank you once again, Maranya, for the pause line. I also want to thank Michael Taylor for filling in last week. Him and Jackson kind of took a little bit of turns, and then Michael took over and kept us in line for last week. So thank you to both of them. And great to have you back.
Nice. And comic curators in the house. Hey, Jeff.
Jeff, my stuff.
Says hello, everyone driving and listening. Happy Saturday, and to you as well, my friend.
Cool beans.
Thanks for
Great to
tuning
have
in.
you with us, Jeff.
And Ron says, good morning, CBC. And she says, no, there was another bit. And Michael Taylor says, very cool memory, Maranya.
Mm.
And Ranger Sly's in the house.
Hey, Ranger. How
Welcome,
you doing?
sir. He says, good morning, Rod and Shannon. So glad to see you both at the same time on Saturday morning. Yeah, it's becoming a rare thing lately. Glad to be here.
So great to have you, Ranger. Always good to see you there in the Peanut Gallery. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. And Jake says, Jackson. And World says, as long as I make you laugh, my job is done.
There you go.
And Jay Lucian says, yo to Michael Taylor. And Ron is saying, good morning, Ranger. Michael saying, hey, Jay. And the Gray Man's in the house.
How you doing, great man?
Welcome, sir. Glad to have you here. He says, hello, folks.
Cool beans, cool beans.
And Eric Green, the professor's in the house.
Hey, Eric. How you doing?
Yeah, he was on the Graphic Man stream the other night showing some great books. And, of course, he had to bring a couple people, which is, which is why I think he goes last in the rotation there. So anyway, but he says, hello.
Very well done, sir. Very well done. Great to have you with us, Eric.
Always. And Ron said, good morning, Gray Man, Lady Lisa, and Lady Lisa and Papalina Ballerina.
Papalina, little ballerina.
And Ranger Slice and talking to Maranya and all the fine folks in the gallery.
Great to have you with us, Ranger.
And Michael Taylor says, found out recently that there is an Ollie's not far from me by train. Looking forward to going in the near future.
Oh, cool beans. Yeah, I'm just so excited now. I can't wait to go back.
And Werewolf by Lunchtime says, howdy, Gray. And Rhonda says, hello, and meow to you and Lady Coco Lumpington, Eric.
Did that very well, man. That's it. That's your official job now.
I do what I can, Rhonda says, Michael, sign up for Ollie's Army before you go on their site. It's free and will help you.
Cool beans. I will definitely take that advice.
And Diabetic Superman's in the house. Welcome, DS. Glad to have you.
Good morning, DS. Great to have you with us once again.
There, he says, hey, everyone.
Good morning to you.
And Jackson Roy Cook, sexy man reporting. And of course, you got to say, hello.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it. Great to have everybody here in the Peanut Gallery, man.
Absolutely.
Great to see you, Jackson. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again, man.
And yes, and Shadow. And Lead Paint's in the house. Greg. Hey, buddy.
How you doing, Greg?
Glad to see you. And he's giving us a big hey.
Hey.
Back to you.
So good to have you with us once again, my friend. Cool beans.
Wow, they're wearing me out with this crap. Ronnie says, hey to you, Jackson. Good to see you.
Oh, putting you through the test.
Good morning, the Lead Paint. And he says, free comic book day today. Get out and support your locals. Yep, it is free comic book day.
Yeah, we have a local thing about 20 minutes away where they used to do, I don't know if they still do, but it was like a scavenger hunt. You'd go through the city and you'd go to different stores and you could pick up certain comics there and stuff like that. But I just can't do the scavenger hunt walk. I can't walk that much. But I do think I might try to go up to they have a place at the end. It's the Knights of Columbus building, and they have artists and people selling comics and stuff in there. I think I'm going to try and after the show get up there and see if I can see some of my old friends hanging out up there selling comics. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. And Missing Mars says, Shannon, throw those doubles in a pile, please. How much? Werewolf says, I have that Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction CGC 8.0. It was $50. I might crack it to read. Just too cheap to pass up. Yeah, that's a good deal for an 8.0.
Wow. Yeah. Cool beans.
And Ron says, I've heard your voice, and I think you did a brief face reveal, Jackson. I can testify to the sexy man deal with you. Not as sexy as my mister, though.
Oh, boy.
And DS saying, how are you, Maranya? And she says, much better, thanks, DS. True fact, chicken Moroccan cup of soup ramen is healing food. Okay.
It's not,
try to pronounce that, but
my wife just bought a bunch of that at the grocery store, so she's ready to go if she gets sick again.
And Werewolf says, I don't think Jackson is him, Ron, although he does sound like Elvis. And the Jackson Worker says, MM, I already claimed the doubles last Wednesday night.
There you go.
And Michael says, Maranya, thanks for letting me know about their army. And Jackson says, Hobbs. And Werewolf says, Jackson. And Jackson says, I see Harvey quite often, for those of you who know the movie. We do.
Yes.
And Ron just giving you the link to the website, and it's free to join the army.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
And Werewolf says, I apologize, Maranya. He is here, obviously. And Michael Taylor says, speaking of hot stuff, I saw some hot stuff file copies on eBay. I forgot which titles, though.
Ooh.
I got a couple of Harveys that are file copies.
I think I got one. I got Casper's Ghost Ship, I think it's called, #1. I think that's a file copy. That's the only one I think I have.
And Ronnie says, I want to say hot stuff and the General Hardy crew like Casper, Wendy, and Spooky were on the animated show briefly as a kid. Yeah. It was never on around here, so I don't know.
I remember those characters, and the Ghostly Trio and all those were on it. But I don't remember seeing hot stuff either in the older ones or those ones from the 60s.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on YouTube and look some of that stuff up. That must have been like a regional thing up in the Northeast.
Yeah, funky.
And DS says my cousin was a huge Richie Rich fan. He got me start liking him too. And Miranda says, you see Harvey often, Jackson? You must be pixelated. And he says pickleated. Okay. And Michael Taylor says, speaking of Gil Kane, Sunday there will be a Gil Kane cover ranking on Ingleteens I Love Comics YouTube channel at 10:30 EST. Nice.
Oh, cool beans. Wow.
Call Graphic Man so he can tune in.
Yeah. Ooh, but a bump.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, and Werewolf says, I never saw any Harvey in the UK growing up. As soon as I found a place that sold old American comics, I was hooked.
Oh, cool bean.
Nice. And Michael Taylor says, you're welcome, Rod. Anytime. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
And Werewolf says, Marvel and DC. And Michael Taylor says, very cool books, Rod. Michael Taylor says, meant Rod. Okay, still.
There we go.
And Dr. Von Chill's in the house. There we go.
Hey, John.
Good to see you.
Great to have
He
you.
says, oh, yeah. Gil Kane cover ranking? Thanks for the heads up, Michael. That's way past my bedtime, but perhaps I'll adjust my nap time so I can catch it.
Yeah,
Nice.
awesome. Great to have you with us, John.
It
Thanks for
is.
hanging out with us again, my friend.
And Michael Tell says, Mitch Shannon. I don't know if he knows what he means, but okay, thanks.
That's all right.
Hey, it's still early in the morning, kind of.
Yes.
I
Yes, it is. And if you had been on this side of the screen this morning, Michael, you'd understand anything can go wrong this morning. So, oh,
And Ron says, John, how are you and Lady Pauline today?
yeah.
And he's saying, howdy, y'all. And Gray Man says, free comic book day in UK today. Got some half price Mr. Miracle, New Gods, and Man Thing. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There, yeah.
Nice bunch of books right there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Michael Tell says, hi, John. Great to see you. And John says, we're doing fine, Ron. Pauline just turned 2 years old. Where does the time go? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it does fly by now.
And John says, howdy, Michael. How you doing, bud? And from Werewolf, we got, I don't know a shop that does free comic book day in Perth anymore. Just too expensive for them. And Marty says, I remember when she was a little nugget of black fluff. She's grown up on the show for sure. And DS says, I have to go and get ready to do the free comic book day thing. Awesome. Hope you find lots of goodies.
Yeah, good luck. Bring home a bunch of great comics.
And Spider Paul's in the house.
Hey, Paul, how you doing, man?
Yeah, looks like we've got another musician there. Says, happy free comic book day, gang. And same to you, sir.
Cool beans. Great to see you once again, my friend.
Ron, you're saying, hey there, Spider. And we got the pause.
All right, it's time to show some more comics. Let's see, what do I want to start off with? Do I want to start off with my Ollie stuff or go right to House of Mystery? Let's see. Well, why don't I do the Ollie stuff real quick?
Okay.
All righty. There we go. We'll show some Ollies. So, for those of you who haven't had a chance to get to an Ollie's, this is what they look like for like a comic pack. Super value 5-pack. And once you figure out the key to opening them, you can release them. So, oh, wow. Cool beans. This one here, this group, I got Mighty Thor number 466, which is pretty cool. But this one here, I'm surprised. This is by HP, Three Rivers Comic Con. The Phantom. Wow. It looks like that's a reprint, if I remember, reprint from a gold key cover, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. What else we got here? Secret Weapons by Valiant. Secret Weapons number 1. I'm not familiar with this title at all. And we got Bloodshot, which I believe is another Valiant. And then this one is Tales of the Titans number 1. I think that's Starfire. And on the back, we got the Blue Beetle movie ad. All right. What else do we get over here? Yeah, we got Punchline, the Gotham game, number 2. And I'm not familiar with a lot of these modern ones. So, Live Wire, an electrifying new series coming in December. So this is like a ad thing, and on the back it's got another. This is like an ad thing. Shows a little bit of art from upcoming books. It's Live Wire, and then you flip it over and it's Bloodshot. This is pretty cool. Tales designed to carry an impact from EC from the 50s. Although this is a reprint, it's just saying.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, that was different. I like the back. Got a spirit. The new adventures. That's pretty neat. This one here is a thick one. It's Must Read Valiant. Greatest Hits. #1. I don't know too much about this, but it is full of stories. So that'll be a good read, I think.
Nice.
This one here, I saw it was on the outside of one of the packs. So I said, I've never seen that before. So I picked it up for that. X-Men versus Dracula, #1.
Oh, cool.
I never even knew about this series.
No, existed either.
So, and then this one here caught my eye too, because this was on the other side. Justice League of America from the New 52. This is #4, but it's a little bit of an homage to the Shaggy Man cover from the Silver Age. So, pretty cool. We got the Badger, #63.
Badger, I like the Badger.
Still around. And then let's see. I got another one of the live wire bloodshot ones. And this one is The Life and Death of Toyo Harada. But it's got a pretty neat cover. But I'm not familiar with the series or anything.
Yeah.
Red Sonja, #6.
Sonya.
The Resurrection Man, the New 52, #1. That's a unique character.
Yeah, it is. I kind of liked him.
Yeah. War Mother. Never heard of this. This is a Valiant comic, #2 of the War Mother.
War Mother.
I don't know. Free Comic Book Day, Spider-Man. This is from 2019, it looks like.
Very cool.
And then this is Faith Dreamside, a Valiant book, #1. Faith Dreamside. It's got a blank cover on the front. So I'm not familiar with this series at all. And then the final one I got is Avengers West Coast, #59.
Oh, there you go. That was right after John Byrne's run. Yeah.
So I think this is actually one I needed. So pretty cool. So all right, that's those are the comics that I got. But I wanted to show you guys this. I didn't get to open it yet, but it's called Pulp Power.
Nice.
And I mean, it's dealing with all the pulp heroes and stuff like that. It's a pretty thick book. Look at the size of it.
Wow.
I mean, it is huge and heavy, man.
It's as big as your head there.
Yeah. Holy cow. Me and my pumpkin head. So, but when I was looking at it, it was like, it normally sold for $65, $82 in Canada, and I got it for like $12. No, I take that back. I got it for $17. I've been speaking wrong because it is the thing right here. But still, that's a heck of a deal.
That is a good bargain there.
Yeah, I can't beat that with a stick.
Okay.
So
you'll be cracking that one open soon.
Yes, I will, because I really wanted to check that out. So the only other thing I bought off of All East was United States coin thing, because I wanted to look up, see the value of some of my coins in my coin collection. I don't have a huge coin collection at all, but the ones I do have, I'd like to know how much they were. So, cool. All right, so let's jump over to some classic DC. The name of the episode today was Dial C for comics. So you got to show some Dial H for hero, right?
You got to.
All right. Well, here we go. We got 156.
Nice.
Just some fun heroes. Well, they were just fun stories.
Yeah. Some of them made more than one appearance, right? In some of those books.
A couple of them did. I can't
Remember
remember.
the mole? He made got the little corkscrew on his head. I remember he was on there a couple of times.
Who was
The mole.
the mole? Okay. Yeah, they were a couple. I was trying to look through real quick.
I could be wrong.
No, I think you are right. So let's see here. This is, where are you? 157 with the human bullet, the supercharge. And what's the other one? I can't read them.
Sonar Man.
Radar sonar man. There you go. Got some go-go checks going. So
That one has it all.
yes, sir. It don't get no better. Here we go with number 158. Soccer McGee.
Soccer McGee, dial V for villain.
Oh, here we go with 159.
Yeah. Didn't Jim Mooney do a lot of the art in those?
Ooh,
It
now you're really taxing my head. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no credits on the inside, but
Oh,
artwork.
and then I just like this cover because this is just like one of those 60s covers, 161. Hornet.
Oh yeah.
Hornet Man, something like that. Yeah, Hornet Man. But it's just one of those covers. Got the go-go checks, and superhero fighting a monster.
Nice.
And number 162. I think this is one of the guys that appears twice too.
Okay.
So, and then number 163, Sucker McGee, the wildest villain yet, Baron Bug and his insect army.
Baron Bug.
Oh, just fun reads. That's all.
Baron von Roschke's cousin.
Baron Bug, the Claw. 164.
Yeah.
Supernova. And then this is number 165 with Dr. Rigoro Mortis and the Super Hood with Who's This, What's This, and How's This.
Oh wow. I didn't know Mr. Rigor Mortis had his own comic.
Yeah, there you go. Cool beans.
Nice.
And then let's see, the Yankee Doodle Kid makes his appearance in 166.
That actually looks like one of the old patriotic heroes from the 40s.
I was thinking for me, it reminds me of like what would be an ACG comic.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Nemesis.
Right.
Because he does I think he has a bear on a cover too. With this one kind of looks like a bear, but it's a cat. A king of the curses. Curses foiled again. Here we go with number 167. Meet the villain who changes colors. The fantastic Rainbow Raiders.
Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, the Flash actually had a villain called the Rainbow Raider, like in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yep. Wasn't she was related to another villain, right?
No, this was a guy. I think you're thinking about the Golden Glider.
Oh, yep. That's who I'm thinking of. You're right. Yep. Was she related to Rainbow Raider?
No, she was related. It was like, I don't know, it was Captain Cold or one of the original rogues. She was like the sister to one of those.
All right, 168 with, I don't know, Moon Man.
Yeah.
Moon Man.
Moon Man.
And 169, Dial H for Heroin, the terrible toy maker.
So did Robbie turn into a girl in that one or what?
I don't know. Haven't had this out of the plastic in a while, so I may have to read that one. A dazzling girl champion joins forces with a new superhero to battle the terrible toy master. So I would guess that's Robbie down here, and she's coming to save the day.
Oh, okay.
And Soccer McGee, he's turned into a human buzzsaw.
Oh yeah, there's my favorite one. I saw that in a house ad, and I was like, and I'd have to go look to see if I have it or not. But if I don't, it's going to be on my list. I always love that. Yeah.
Cool beans. All right, here is number 171, Menace of the Micro Monsters.
Man, those were so much fun.
They were. They're just a really fun read. One and done. Here we go with number 172.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice. Yeah.
And the last one was 173.
Yeah, that's a cool cover. That's right before it went to the mystery format.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a nice cover.
Cool beans. All righty. So let's get back together again. Boom. There we go. And where do I want to? I'll put these right here for now. Okay. And we got the pause line. Thank you once again, Maranya, for keeping me in line. Appreciate it. And the Jackson Rourke says, hot stuff. Now I'll have that Donna Summer song in my head all day. There you go. Oh, yeah. And I hear that kind of stuff, and it's like, what was that movie? Oh, I can't think of the movie. It was something like Friday Night or something like that. And it took place in a disco, and there was Freddie the Leatherman and just a bunch of characters. I remember going and seeing that because I used to go to movies every week, and whatever was playing, I would just go and see it. And I remember that one. I'm thinking, what the devil's going on here? Oh, Michael Taylor says, hope to see you in the chat, John. The cover rankings are on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 10:30 on Englenteen's I Love Comics YouTube channel. So there you go. Thank you so much, Michael, for the update and the channel information. So get a chance, check them out. You'll have lots of fun. Lots of fun. Thank you, Michael. And Maranya says, you too, Jackson? Man, that brings back memories of my disco dancing days in college. There we go. Michael Taylor says, no, I don't, Shannon. And Spider Paul says hi to Maranya. Michael says, good. And you, John? He says, very cool, Phantom. Yeah, that was pretty neat. I was surprised to see that in amongst them. So I'm curious to check that one out. The Jackson Roykirk says, I enjoyed the original 90s Valiant. I don't know anything about the newer company. Yeah, me neither. I remember the 90s one. I had a few series that I bought then, but did you buy a lot of them?
Yeah, when they first came out, I kind of got into it. You know, I bought Solar and Turok. And what else? Magnus Robot Fighter. I got that one for a while. It's really good art. I think Barry Windsor Smith did some art on one of them. So it was actually they're really kind of underrated once you get into them. You know, it's a newer versions of the Go Key characters, but you know, once you get into it, there's some really good storytelling.
Cool. All right. Michael Taylor says, very cool Impact Candy Store cover. Yeah, that's a reprint of a Golden Age book. Yeah. Okay, cool. I thought it looked familiar, the Phantom one. Dr. Von Chilla says, doing well, Michael, navigating some major life changes that are knocking on the door. Selling off all my collections in prep for moving into a senior housing community. Strange times, he says. Oh. And August Acidic is with us.
Welcome,
Hey,
sir.
how you doing, Double A? Great to have you with us once again. Greetings, CBM Clubhouse, and greetings to you, sir. Hope your Saturday's going well. Maranya says, greetings to you, August. And Ranger Sly says, Pulp Power looks awesome. And Dr. Von Chilla says that Phantom cover was on, I believe, issue number 13 of the Gold Key run. Thank you. Because it looked familiar. I just remember it. I think it had a darker background. I don't think it was a orange or a red background normally for the first one. The Jackson Rourke says, I bet Charlton 66 would be interested in the Pulp Power if he doesn't have it already.
Well, I'm sure.
Yes.
Steve's got some great pulp stuff.
Yes, he does. Him and Micah, between the two, they got some great stuff. I don't have only a couple of pulps, but I wanted to get one of the spider ones, and I had a chance, but they wanted like $50 for it, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. Just like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. But I would like to get one with like the spider in it. Just I like that character because it's one that, I knew about the Shadow from old time radio and stuff, and I knew about Doc Savage from the comics and from the movie in the mid-70s and stuff. But I didn't know anything about that spider character until they started using them in Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I'd love to get to know more about that character. I Am One of Us says Pulp Power looks real nice. It will be a great book to read. Yeah, I hope so. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll let you guys know. And when I get it open, I'll show what's going on inside the pages next time. So Michael Taylor says, Rod, fantastic Pulp Power. I need to see if my Ollie's has that book. Yeah, definitely check it out because I mean that's a real good deal. So if you're interested in pulps, it looks like, it is heavy and it is a heavy book, man. I get a workout just lifting that. Holy cow. Either that or I'm just wimpy. That's it. And Dr. Marcella says, indeed, that Pulp Power book is right up my alley. Gasp, he says. Gray Man says, Giant Boy. Yes, Giant Boy lives. The Jackson Markirk says, Pulp Power. Now all I can hear is Scrappy Doo saying, Puppy Power, Puppy Power. Puppy Power, yeah. Michael Taylor says, John, I hope nothing serious, as do we all. Double A says that Dial H expression, Soccer McGee, sounds like Snapper Car. Yeah, it does sound like something he would do, don't you think?
There we go.
Lead Paint says House of Mystery 160 is the first Plastic Man at DC in that Dial H for run. Yes,
absolutely, it is.
Yeah. I don't think I had that one in that group. I do have the book, but I don't think it's in that group. I don't remember seeing Plastic Man. So, Gray Man says, I think I might be close to owning every Dial H related book, but not sure where to check. Ooh. Yeah, because they brought back Dial H in Adventure Comics, right? Later on.
And I kind of enjoyed that. I mean, it had a lot of great art in it by Carmine Infantino and Don Heck, and had some George Perez covers on that run. So it was really cool. You can find it cheap, yeah.
Did they also do a thing where fans could write in, send in characters, and they might pick one of yours?
Yeah, you could sign in character design or, send in character designs, and then they would credit you and say, okay, created by so-and-so from Soho or something, So, yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I always wanted to send in a couple because like you, I'm sure we had a bunch of characters in our repertoire, in our sketch pads and stuff.
Oh, yeah. We've showed each other that stuff. I mean, I had over 100, that I sketched out. So
cool. Double A says later on, when Snapper became a CEO, he began talking like Professor Xavier. Oh, Dr. Monchilla says, just a conscious decision to live in a senior village, Michael. No more cutting grass or shoveling snow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that really appeals to me.
Yeah. John and I had a discussion about that a while back, and he was telling me about it.
It's funny because with all the health stuff with me and all that stuff, it's funny, but not funny, but it's just one of those things you do start thinking about, because it's like, how long can you maintain a house? How long can you shovel snow? How long can you mow your lawn and stuff? But I just I don't know. Scary to think of, for me anyway. But where did my button go? My mouse. Doggone my mouse.
There's a moose loose in the house.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, now we're back. Okay. Whew. Ranger Sly says, love the old Dial H. Yeah, it's a classic. Gray Man says, Lisa Snart, Golden Glider, sister of Captain Cold, Leonard Snart, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You are correct. I couldn't think of which rogue it was, but yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much, Gray Man. Cool beans. I knew somebody out there would know it. And Michael Taylor says, Rod, thanks for making me aware of that pulp power. Didn't do much, just showed it. So, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope you get a chance to get up and to Ollie's and pick one up, because it looks like it's very, very interesting. So I'm super psyched to read it. So cool beans. Thanks, Michael. And Gray Man says, Dial H turns a guy into a woman in the hero run. He's on it. He's a Dial H fan. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, Mrs. Werewolf is home from her long day's work. First job, spill beer in me. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
Hey.
He's spilling on me. Yeah. Double A says, Gray Man, that Captain Cold used to be infatuated with Barry Allen's girlfriend, Iris. I think a lot of the villains were.
Yeah.
Mike Till said, very cool books, Rod. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that, my friend. Hey, Robert Harrison, another neighbor to the north. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, Bobby.
He says, hey, you guys, what's happening to all the artwork from Harvey Comics? I like that pulp book. Have you heard anything about
that? I think maybe once or twice I might have seen some Harvey artwork be up on an auction, like in Heritage Auctions or something like that, but you never see it. Just, I don't know if it disappeared or it's ended up in somebody's collection, or, maybe it was like a lot of the Charlton artwork and it ended up as stuff like blotters in the front door when there was a storm or something. That's a good question. Yeah, I wondered about that kind of stuff myself, like a lot of the
gold
key artwork, same thing.
Yeah, because it's like, where did it all go? Does somebody have it stockpiled somewhere in a warehouse or up in their attic or something? Where is it? We want to know. Iggy Pop is with us. Hey. Wow.
There we go.
I'm telling you, man. Nothing but troubles here. Nothing but troubles. Iggy, great to have you with us, sir. How you doing this morning? Hope everything's going well.
Yeah, great to see you, Iggy. Hope you and the family are well, buddy.
He says, hey, all the amigos are here. Yes, sirree. He says, hello to the peanuts. Hey, how you doing? And the Gray Man says, Double A, so was Reverse Flash.
Right. Yeah, he was always wanting to get married to her or kill her. One.
Couldn't make up his mind.
Couldn't make up his mind,
one extreme to the other. Dr. Monchilla says, wasn't that the movie called Thank God? Yes, it was. Yes, Thank God It's Friday. Yes, That's it, John. You are correct, sir. You are correct. I remember Murray. Oh, it was Murray the Leatherman, I think it was.
Yeah. Another movie aficionado in the house.
Oh, just crazy, crazy. It was just one of those movies that at the end, it was like, what was the purpose of this movie?
Right.
and what was I doing sitting through the whole thing? Oh, Maranya says, hey there, Robert. Higgy Pop. How are you and Hawk Dog doing? Gray Man says, Leatherman must have seen that movie, A Special Interest Picture House. Oh, man. I can't think of anybody else that was in it. Just Donna Summer was doing a lot of the music. And just that guy that played Murray the Leatherman. I just couldn't get over that character. Murray the Leatherman. Okay. All right. Gray Man says, hi, D. And Double A says, Gray Man, yes, I remember the reverse flash gate crashing the wedding. Yeah, he was known for that. Higgy Pop says, everyone is good, Maranya. Thank you very much, he says. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, she says, hi, you great galoo. Gray, says Werewolf. Gray Man says, I meant Giant Boy was a dialed-up hero we saw more than once. Oh, there you go. Okay. That's one of the answers right there. Thank you so much. Cool beans. And Double A says, Gray Man, my favorite Flash villain has always been the Mirror Master. I still remember when the Mirror Master turned Flash into a panel of glass. LOL.
I do remember that cover. Yeah.
I mean, Flash really, I know Batman is known for his rogues gallery and stuff, but Flash had a bunch of cool villain rogue gallery too.
He had some great villains. Yeah.
Yeah. Gray Man says the adventure comic Dial H was where I first encountered it with Chris King and Vicki Grant, the town of Fairfax, if memory serves me right.
Your memory is exactly right, sir.
There you go. Dr. Von Chilla says, at the mention of Donna Summer, I now have Love to Love You, Baby stuck in my head. Thanks very much.
I have the vision of John singing that song in my head.
Our job here is done.
Our job here is done. Yeah.
Oh, Werewolf by Lunchtime says, happy birthday to Mrs. Werewolf from the 1st of May. She is officially older than me by 24 days. Well, happy birthday to Mrs. Werewolf. Cool beans.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because my wife is 6 months older than I am. She was born in January. I was born in July. So it's funny because in July I catch up with her and she likes to rub that in. But when January comes around, it's like, old lady robbing the cradle.
Yeah. If she was in high school, she wouldn't even looked at you back then.
Yes. That's the truth. Oh, Gray Man says August Acidic Mirror Master can do some crazy tricks. I swear he'd make more money from patents than he would from crime. There you go. Why didn't they ever think of that? Michael Taylor says, speaking of dog characters, there's a cool scene in the Superman movie with Crypto. Yes. That looks very interesting. You saw the clip with the robots too, right?
Oh, yeah. I've saw them all. I'm going to try to keep away from new trailers because I just want to kind of be surprised until I go see it.
I just was amazed at the robots. I know there were some people that were kind of bummed that they didn't look exactly like the ones in the comics and stuff. But I just thought it was just a cool visual, you know.
You're going to have your haters on that stuff. I mean, you're not going to be able to please everybody, so I just kind of like, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I plan on seeing it. Of course, Metamorpho was in it, so I got to go see it.
There we go.
Simple as that. Gray Man says, happy belated birthday, D. Yes. Ranger Sly says, same here, Gray Man. Love the old school art by Infantino and Heck, as Shannon pointed out. Fun series when comics were starting to get more serious. Fun series when comics were starting to get more serious and dark at that time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. Miranda says, Mrs. Werewolf is cradle robbing with you, Werewolf. Michael Taylor says, okay, John, I hope it becomes your new home, sweet home. There you go. And Robert Harrison says, dial H starts with 156, ends with 173. You are correct, sir.
You are correct, sir. Yeah.
Hey, there's the pause line once again from Maranya. Thank you so much. Looks like you're up to bat.
There we go.
Boom.
Okay. Yeah, today is Free Comic Book Day, but more important to me, today is my daughter Megan's birthday. So happy birthday to Megan.
Oh, yes. Happy birthday, Megan. Happy birthday, Megan.
Tomorrow is my wife Sandy's birthday. So got it all in the family. And also, besides being New Comic Book Day and my daughter's birthday, it is Derby Day here in Kentucky. It's when they run the Kentucky Derby here in just a little while. And where I work at Woodford Reserve, we are the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby, you know, where they have all the mixed drinks and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And it's about the only time we get any TV exposure. But we always get we have like a communication meeting like every quarter, you know, like every 3 months. And one is always close to Derby Day. And we always get a big bag of swag with Derby Day. So first, everybody gets a official Kentucky Derby bottle of bourbon, and it's autographed by the artist that did the front and our two master distillers, Chris Morris and Elizabeth McCall. So pretty cool bottle there. We get a free Kentucky Derby glass. This is the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby with all the winners. Like I said, I'm not a big drinker, and I think the last 2 years I've sold my Derby bottles. People really go crazy over this stuff, about like we do old comics, you know. And I'm not really into the, you know, I enjoy working there. It's a great place, but I'm not a big drinker. And, you know, so I've sold a couple of bottles and like turned them into comics. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We have a ceramic coaster that's got the same image as the bottle. And for anybody that likes mint julep bourbon balls, got some bourbon balls here.
What the devil are those?
It's candy.
Oh, it's candy?
Yeah. And got some bourbon balls there. We also got a poster, which is just like a bigger image of what's on the bottle. And we got an umbrella. We got an umbrella. Everybody got an umbrella that's got our logo on it. I don't know. I think my wife put it up because my grandson probably would have wanted to use it as a knife or something. Got that, and we also got a free grill.
Wow, nice.
So we got a grill with that, and we got some grill spices with that. We got bourbon smoked citrus pepper, bourbon smoked garlic salt, bourbon smoked togarashi, bourbon smoked chili powder, bourbon smoked sugar, and bourbon smoked chef's blend. So got some spices if you want to barbecue. I think this is a this is a meat thermometer we got. So make sure your grilling is done. And also we got a set of grilling tools.
Oh, wow. They set you up nice.
Yeah, they do us pretty good. You got your oven mitt, you got some scissors to cut stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Pull tab, or you want to pop a top on something. So yeah, they set us up pretty good. It's probably there's always somebody that wants to look this stuff up. So we probably got about $200 worth of swag in that bag. So
yeah, that's
pretty cool. Great
company
to work for. So done with that. I'm gonna go ahead and for those of you that didn't get to see the last video I did on my channel, I'll show the $2 haul. I found these $2 boxes, a lot of great stuff. Got some Black Hawk 246. This is an upgrade from my coverless childhood copy with the Dick Giordano cover.
Nice.
Number 249. More of the same. This is a copy with a cover on it because I read my Black Hawks to death.
Yeah.
Got some Luke Cage, Hero for Hire number 12.
Oh, nice.
Like 20 cents, like $2. Can't beat it.
$2 if you can't beat it. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Supergirl Starting in Adventure Comics number 385. The Secret of Supergirl's Big Sister. Did not have this one. I actually had my list. I put my list on my phone, so that way I can just pull it out. And here we have Twilight Zone number 64. Great train cover. This one's for Michael Taylor because he's a big fan of the train covers.
Oh, there you go.
We kind of discussed this in the chat or the comments on my video. Trag and the Sky Gods with a cover by Jesse Santos, number 6. And Gunsmoke Western number 73.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think they showed, I forget who it was. Somebody showed some old Gunsmoke Westerns on the Graphic Man stream the other night. Mighty Samson. Another one I'm closing in on. This is number 29.
Nice.
And the Art of George Wilson book is out in some places, and I think it comes out here maybe in about 10 days. So hopefully in the next week or two, I will have that book in my hands after 2 years of waiting.
We expect a 2-hour video from you on it.
Oh, I don't mind at all. Star Spangled War Stories number 204. Great Joe Kubert cover there.
Yep.
Supervillain Team Up. Starring the Fantastic Four. This is number 6. This is another one I'm working on trying to complete. And Mighty Marvel Western number 7.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Square-bound beauty.
Yeah, I mean, it blew my mind that all these were like in a $2 box unbagged.
Yeah. Wow.
Especially this one, 80-page giant number G36 Superman number 197. I'm sure you got this one.
Oh, yes, with the go-go checks.
Yeah. This one's in great shape, man. The spine on this one is great.
Yeah. Wow.
And we got from JC Comics, the Thunder Agents. I think I've got one issue of this, like I said on my video. This is issue number 2. Love the Thunder Agents. And issue number 1. Not Wally Wood, but kind of reminiscent of Wally Wood's art.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And I got to check another one off of my picture frame cover collection, Rawhide Kid number 100.
Oh, nice.
And another title that I'm collecting just so I can get the backup feature. This is Hercules number 10 from Charlton.
Oh, yep.
And you got Thane of Bagarth. Art by Jim Aparo. Yeah. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. Sam Gladsman on the art here, though. It's good stuff, too.
Well, what issue was that? Was that number 9?
Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. Number 10.
10. I'm closing in on that one myself.
Yeah. Little inquiry there from Rodney the Leatherman.
Ouch.
Here we go. The Inhumans, number 9. Covered by Keith Pollard. This one didn't run long, but good little series. I think George Perez did the art in a lot of them. Not in this one, but yeah. And we have Eric, Son of Thunder.
Oh, nice.
I think this is another Roy Thomas creation here, or co-creation. Ernie Clone on the art. Found a couple issues of Defenders. 87.
Oh, nice.
I think Emsky361, Brian, he asked me which Defenders I needed. And I will get back to you, buddy, I promise. But I'm closing in on completing this run. Getting close. There's number 89. Someone has died. Dead they are. And just because it was in there, Commandy 54.
Oh, there you go.
$2, right?
Right.
And found a few issues of another Marvel Bronze Series Marvel double feature featuring Captain America and Iron Man. This is number 13.
Oh,
Those are
neat.
a lot of these great reprints from Tales of Suspense, as I'm sure you know, Rod.
Yeah.
Great Kirby cover. And these are like, there's hardly anything wrong with these. I mean, they're just cherry looking. Number 20.
You remember in the late 70s and through the 80s, you couldn't give those away.
Oh, no. You can give them to me. There
you go.
And here we go. Number 12, Marvel double feature featuring Captain America and Iron Man, featuring Power Man, the Swordsman, and a madly menacing mystery villain.
Oh, yes. Power Man.
And speaking of the Swordsman, I got Disney back, and I completed the new, or the first part, or the first season of the new Daredevil Born Again. Awesome.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah. And guess who shows up?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Kind of different from, doesn't look like this character, but it is him in the show. And we all get to see White Tiger show up in the show.
I saw like still photos of him.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
And we got Mighty Marvel Western number 12, another great square-bound beauty.
Oh, love those.
I think I'm probably about 2/3 through collecting those. And my first issue of Angel and the Ape, number 2.
Oh, I think that's the same issue I have.
Yeah. And it's great. It's got, I think this is Bob Oscar on the cover. I mean, he did a lot of the Superman stuff, a lot of the funny stuff back in the late 60s, early 70s, and got Wally Wood on the inks. So definitely worth picking up.
Mm.
And I can't remember. Did you show this one? I couldn't remember. This is House of Mystery 161. As Lord of the Gardens, I command a plant gorilla to destroy you, Hornet Man. Did you show this one?
Yes. Yep. That's
Okay.
the one that I said looked like the stereotypical Silver Age superhero cover
Right.
to me. Yeah. Cool
Yeah, I
stuff.
saw this. I was like, well, I got to pick this up just because it's a great book. And hey, my buddy Rod collects these.
Got some go checks on it.
And this one's kind of beat up, but it's another great Silver Age book, House of Mystery 137, Tunnel to Disaster.
Mm.
And Jimmy Olsen 123. What has he got himself into now?
Oh, that Jimmy.
That Jimmy. And we've got World's Finest number 139.
Oh, nice.
And the last one, this one's pretty beat up. I got a couple chips out of it, and it's it's seen its better days. But here we have World's Finest 100.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Very cool. So there we go.
Cool beans. Great
Bourbon and comics. What can you go wrong there?
stuff. All righty. There we go. Thank you once again, Maranya, for the line.
Appreciate
Keeping
that.
me in line. So,
Okay, Dr. Von Chill is saying howdy, Robert and Higgy. And Gray Man says, Ranger Sly, yeah, those were cool stories. Also had a backup with similar style in New Adventures of Superboy. Yes, I forgot about that. Also, a chap in Superboy and the Rangers had a dial and a young time displaced girl in Legion of Superheroes. I didn't remember that. I picked up a few issues of Superboy around that time.
Cool beans.
And Werewolf says, that's right, Miranda. She loves my sexy young body. And Cousin Dale says Maloney's. Yeah, he knows Maloney's. That was a great story. Richie Rich, Sad Sack takes me back. Thanks, boys. You're very welcome. Yeah. And Jackson Roy Turkey's having a cough. And Werewolf by Lunchtime says, see, Jackson knows.
There you go.
And Double A says, yes, Michael, I saw the trailer scene of the dog Crypto and the Superman robots too. Different from the robots in the comics, because in the comics they were identical duplicates of Superman. You are correct. But I think they're taking a lot of some of the story anyway from that series, All-Star Superman. Did you read that one, Rod?
I don't think so.
Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely on the art. That's a must read. Yeah, you need to at least get the trade and read that one, because the robots in that would look like the ones in the movie.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that was just a great series. They actually come out with an animated version of that All-Star
Yeah.
Superman.
I was gonna say, didn't they make a movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
So check that out before you go see the movie. And Bob says also, back in the late 50s, it was DC or Marvel. Before Marvel, they used to put artwork on the floor for their winter boots. Yeah.
Ow.
I heard Charlton do it. I didn't know DC and Marvel did it. Yeah.
Ouch.
And Gray Man says, I am Lisa's toy boy from February to September.
There you go.
And Mariah says, fun fact, when my husband and I were dating, we visited with some of my family. They swore up and down that I was cradle robbing because he looks way younger than me, and he still does. And Ron's like, he's older. They didn't believe me until he showed his ID. He's a month and 11 days older than me.
There you go. Make him prove it.
And 5 years down the road, he's still going to be a month and 11 days older than her. Ranger's giving a laugh at Gray Man. And Michael says, I forgot the issue number. The Flash cover with all the mirrors remind me a bit of the scene in Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, where Flash is looking at all the mirrors trying to find the master. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Yes.
And World says, who is her toy boy in the in-between, Gray? I was wondering that, but I wasn't going to ask.
Oh, no. Moving right along.
And the Gray Man said, ha, she don't need another. WWPL. And Dr. Montiel said, Flash 105, Michael. Yeah, that was the first Silver Age issue of the Flash right after Showcase.
Yep.
And Maranya says, to those in Kentucky, enjoy some hot browns for me, please. Yep, that's a great sandwich. And Michael says, happy birthday to your daughter, Shannon. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And Dr. V says, oh, yeah, Shannon, happy Derby Day. Awesome Derby memorabilia. Yep, I've got a crap load of that stuff around here. And Michael Taylor says, thanks, John. Gray Man says, comics will last you a lot longer than a bourbon hangover anyway, and make you feel better, too. Right on the nose, Gray Man. That's why I sell my Derby bottles and a lot of other bottles I get. Comic books. And Werewolf says, I don't know about that, Gray. I've had some pretty long hangovers. And Aesthetic says, Rod, the clip of Metamorpho in the movie trailer was only a split second that I almost missed him. That's the one of the shriveled face, right? If so, then it harkens back to the 60s depiction. Yeah, it looked pretty spot on.
Yep. I'm interested to see what they do with him. So it just one of those characters I never thought I'd ever see on the big screen. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Same here. And I'm one who said this turned into a cooking show with Shannon. Yeah, kind of jury out today, but when it gets warmer, I'll be out there grilling.
You get all those spices.
Yeah, usually after Cover Slingers.
There you go. That's right. Check out Cover Slingers today around 2 o'clock on Gray Man's channel. It's a lot of fun.
And Mike does some very cool stuff for your job, Shannon. Thanks, sir. Ranger says that job has some interesting and delicious looking perks. Yeah, it is.
Very, very cool.
And Ranger Slot says Frank Thorne drew some of the early Mighty Samsons. Cool. And Dr. Bonchill says, putting your want list on your phone. I don't even know how to check my voicemail, Shannon, as you probably realized. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation with me and John there.
Yeah.
And Ranger Slice says, I wish somebody would reprint the apparel art from Charlton in a nice collection. Yeah, that would be awesome.
With the Phantom stuff.
Good thing is, most of the stuff that he did for Charlton, it really is not going to cost you that much in the single issues anyway. Just a few bucks. Yeah.
Yep.
And Double A says, Ranger, my favorite apparel was from Spectre's work.
Oh, good stuff there.
Oh, and speaking of that, where I've been pre-ordering new books. There's a place called Discount Comic Book Service online, and I think they're soliciting a book. It's like the DC artist edition of Jim Aparo, one of the big art books.
Ooh, now, how much do they go for?
Probably about 150 retail.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you can get discount on that service.
I'd need a really big discount. Oh, I need an Ollie's discount.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
And Dr. Von Schill says Ranger Sly Apparel's Phantom was absolutely, absolutely awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
I will have to agree.
Yes.
And Werewolf Fallenstein, not one issue of sweaters for hamster, Shannon. I guess you have them all.
Yeah.
Maybe. And Dr. Von Schill says Gil Kane lives.
Well, you know what we got to do now.
The man, the myth, the legend. He drew the heroes we all know. And too soon he had to go. Now he's revered by any other name. Gil Kane, the man, the myth, the legend. He drew the heroes we all know. And too soon he had to go. Now he's revered by any other name. Gil Kane.
There we go for
And
Dr.
to me,
Von Schill.
yeah, and to me, that is in part in retaliation for Graphic Man's Gil Kane overappreciation alert that was on his stream the other night.
Absolutely. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Indeed, Dr. Von Jill says Ranger Sly. And Michael says, Rod, the Kane signal is in the sky. Yep.
You are right,
He was
Michael.
all over it. And Scotty Z70's in the house. Welcome,
Hey,
sir.
Scotty, how you doing, man?
He says, hey, I'm at McDonald's after a morning at the flea market. Well, I hope you found some comic books.
Yes, sir, Bob.
And he says, see y'all next week, maybe. Thanks for dropping in, sir. Hope to see you next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Gray Man says, I just finished collecting and reading Jason's Quest from Showcase. I really liked it. Nice art. Does anyone know who did it? It looks almost romance comic worthy. I can't remember who did that unless it was Mike Sikowski, maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while since I read those. I've got those in my collection, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will tell us before this is over.
My memory just ain't anything close to what it used to be.
And Ronnie says, take care, Scotty, and your feline crew.
There you go.
Sikowski, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Not sure if that's right or not, but I remember kind of looking like Sikowski's artwork. Double A says, when Shannon showed Bucky, I wonder if he has Bucky from the Golden Age Young Allies where he teams up with Toro. I'm not sure about that. What book was that in? Was that like from Invaders or something, or maybe like a Young Allies reprint or something?
I'm trying to. Wouldn't have been fantasy masterpieces, right?
Not sure.
August, can you clarify that for us? We'll get you an answer.
I think that might be like a reprint from Fantasy Masterpieces, because I think I have that one.
Yeah.
And I'm always a great comic, Shannon. Thanks for showing them. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Mike Tull says, yeah, that's one of the great cheap comic hauls that I've seen on YouTube, Shannon. Yeah, I was even impressed. You know.
Yeah, some of those $2 books, unbelievable, man. Oh.
You know, I grabbed them until the money ran out. So, you know.
That's it. Oh, how much for the long box?
Yeah. Basically, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, I don't, haven't played music in a couple weeks, so no.
I gotcha.
And Grayman says, Werewolf by lunchtime. Yes, Sikowski. I know the name, but not sure what else I've seen him do. Yeah, he was the Justice League guy, like for 60 some issues.
Yeah.
Did Wonder Woman, did a bunch of stuff for DC. Did a lot of the sci-fi stuff. You've seen Strange Adventures and Mystery in Space. Yeah, but I love that artist.
All right, there we go. We got the pause line once again. Thank you, Maranya. Appreciate it as always. All righty. Well, let's see. I got some more Avengers.
Nice.
I showed some last week, so I figured I'd show some Avengers this week as well. Only about 10, and then I can jump into some Challengers of the Unknown. So, all right, here we go. We're starting off with number 69.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Kang the Conqueror's in there, and the Growing Man.
The growing.
Right? The uncanny growing man. Oh, all right. One of my favorite covers. This is one of those ones I'm going to try and get an upgrade on because it's missing a little piece. Not a little piece, missing a good piece. But it's number 70 with the
Squadron Sinister.
Yeah, Squadron Sinister. Thank you.
Also
down here, it's missing a chunk right there.
Yeah.
But love that group, the Squadron Sinister or Squadron Supreme, depending on which one they were that at the time.
Supreme Power, it was later known as. Yeah.
There you go. And then we got a little taste of the Invaders in this one, number 71.
Yeah. Great book.
Very cool. And I like this period where with Goliath, I always liked Barton better as Goliath than I ever did as Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I can appreciate him as Hawkeye, but I just liked Goliath. I just thought that was
I'm real fond of that period too. That is some great stories. And speaking of Hawkeye, I saw like a little interview with Jeremy Renner. He played Hawkeye on the Avengers movies. And I don't know, did you get to see the Hawkeye TV show?
Yes. It was him and his daughter, right?
It was a younger girl. I don't know if it was his daughter or not. I can't remember. But they were going to have a season 2, and they offered it to him, but for half the money, and he was going to have to be doing more stuff in the second season. So he's like, "What? I got run over by my own snow plow, and I can't do it now. I'm worth half the money." So, yeah,
yeah, he got injured really bad.
Yeah, he's in good shape now, but he was close to death there for a while. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I was like, they offered me half the money to do the second season. I said, no, thanks.
It's funny. I just watched, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before. Just watched the Thor movie where he first appeared as Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I liked the first 2 Thor movies. I really, really enjoyed those.
Yeah. Yeah, they got silly later on. They just basically kind of, I don't know why, but they basically kind of nerfed Thor and Hulk. Made them like, insecure wussies. I was like,
yeah,
why?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was not too happy with him. I'm still thrilled anytime I could see Hulk on the screen, but I wanted that Hulk from the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
That's the Hulk I wanted.
Yeah.
So here we go with number 73.
Yeah.
Sons of the Serpent.
Sons of the Serpent.
Love this cover. Number 75.
Yeah. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Just the action cover right there. And then here we go with number 76 with Archon.
Archon. Yeah. Yeah, there was an old Star Trek episode called Return to the Archons, but it's spelled different. You remember that one? You're a Star Trek guy.
Yeah, but I don't remember
you go down that planet, and it's like everybody's like, peace be with you and contentment. That is the will of Landru, And then they have what they call festival, and everybody starts going crazy and breaking stuff. And yeah, it's called Return of the Archons.
Oh, wow. Well, this one here was gifted to me. One of the guys from my church, he said, I got some comics in the garage. If you're more than welcome to them. And this was one of the ones that was in there. So I grabbed that. But he also had Conan number 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Needless to say, at the time I wasn't collecting Conan, but I knew the value of Conan.
Yeah.
And it helped booster some of my early Avengers.
There you go.
So, in fact, here's bringing myself.
Nice.
There we go at number 77. That's it. For hire, the Avengers construction agency.
Nice. What was that group with like all the what they call the enforcers, the one that had like the crowbars and everything? They were like they showed
Wrecking
up
Crew?
the Wrecking Crew, yeah. They showed up like issues of Defenders. I always liked that one, yeah.
Yep, the Wrecking Crew. They actually had some action figures of all of them, but they wanted some godly amount of money for them. Like, it stinks because I'd love to have those, a collection of those.
Yeah.
And then I saw their version of the Wrecking Crew on one of the Marvel TV shows, I think it was. Was not good. Not good.
I'll take your word for
it. Yeah, just not the same. Here's number 78. Great cover.
There we go. Man Ape. Any cover that's got an ape on it, man. You know, I don't know why I would like that, but you know, I do.
And we got the Lethal Legion.
The Lethal Legion.
79.
Man, you gotta love that Buscema artwork. Wow.
Yes, sir. There's another cool one, number 80, with the coming of Red Wolf.
First Red Wolf. Nice.
Very cool. And we'll round out the Avengers portion with number 81.
Yeah.
When a Legend Dies.
Great stuff.
All righty. And then we'll do some of the challenges here. Some of the later issues, starting with number 68.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I love the early challengers, obviously, because of Kirby and all that. But when it got into that era, I really did, because you got to see a lot of great covers. You got to see some Neil Adams art and a lot of Kubert on the covers.
Speaking of Kubert, there we go. Number 69.
Yeah. Man, I would never turn down a Joe Kubert cover, no matter what it was.
I don't see. I've never seen a bad Kubert cover.
Hey, Dr. Boncello, Joe Kubert lives.
Yeah.
We need a Kubert segment, don't we?
Yeah, there we go. I'll have to work on that. Here's number 70.
More Neil Adams. Nice.
And look, this guy draws just like him.
Another victim of MCS.
Yep. Here's number 71.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of eras of DC that I love. Man, that late 60s, late 60s, early 70s. Man, that sickness has run rampant. Look at that. Yeah, if I didn't already have that, I'd be like, where's my copy?
Oh, man. And I couldn't tell you why I have 3 copies. I cannot tell you why. I have no idea. Oh, love this cover. This is a cover that could have been on like House of Secrets or House of Mystery, number 72.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love that one.
A Plague of Darkness.
Plague of Darkness.
It's number 73.
It almost looks like a Nick Cardy or Jack.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, wow, that looks like kind of like a Nick Cardy.
Yeah, might be
You
Jack
know?
Sparrow. Not sure.
And okay, so
Boy, you just weren't catting around, are you?
oh, just a couple more, and we'll be done with that. Let's see. This is number 73. So yeah. So boom. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I think we're related, man.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have no idea, man.
No idea.
That is now this I have an idea why. Okay. Here is number 74.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's got Dead Man, it's got Neil Adams.
Well, that's
So
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I could see why I would want
Yeah.
2 copies of that.
Yeah.
So that I understand, but the others I don't. Here we go with number 75.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, I think they put a reprint in that one, didn't they?
I think so. This one, I think there's a couple of reprints coming up here. So here is number 76.
Hubert. Yeah, I like that one.
And this is a early reprint. This might actually even be from Showcase. This is number 77.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
That might be from the Showcase. If not, it's from the very early Challengers.
Right.
And then this is the last one I pulled out is number 78. And I think that's from the first, within the first.
When they restarted that title in those 20-cent covers, I think 4 of them were like reprints from the early Kirby days.
Yeah. So there we go. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Great stuff.
Okay. Do that, and let's get us back together again. Okie dokie. Thank you once again, Maranya. Appreciate the pause line as always. So good to have you back. And Michael Taylor says, you guys know the scene in Enter the Dragon that I'm referring to?
I do. Yep.
It's been so long since I've seen Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, and I mentioned this before, but the guy that played, I think his character's name was Jackson, maybe in the movie The Black Guy, by actor Jim Kelly. I actually got to meet him at a con and got a picture with him up on my wall here. So that was really cool getting to meet him.
Oh, neat. Double A says, yes, I do, Michael. And Miranda says, try half-price books for decent discounts on comic and hardcover books.
Yeah, that's a really good place.
Yeah, I don't know if we have one of those around here. There is something like that up at the main mall, which is like an hour away.
Yeah. There's one probably 30 minutes from here, like in Lexington. I mean, yeah, man, they got like movie-wise, I mean, you got VHS, you got DVD, you got Blu-ray, music, same thing. You got LPs and 45s, cassettes, 8-tracks, compact discs, comic books, all kinds of books.
Wow.
They
sounds
got
like my kind of place.
Yeah, got a comic book section, but like a lot of the stuff, like the silver and bronze, they're way overpriced when they have it. But you find a lot of the other stuff, 50 cents or $1. And she's right, there are good discounts on the hardbound books.
I'm finding all kinds of VHS stuff down here. Like I just found this, the Masters of Comic Book Art.
Cool. Never seen that.
And, what does it? What?
Very cool.
Totally forgot all about this. I couldn't tell you where I bought it or how I bought it. Rhino Home Video.
Yeah.
So, and this looks like it was from somewhere around 1989.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because Rhino was one that did a lot of the reissues of the old Monkees albums when the Monkees became popular back in the '80s again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I got some of the videos too.
There's a place called Bull Moose Records and Tapes or something like that, and the last time I was in there, which was now it's been a couple of months, so it's probably gone. But they had like a couple of the Monkees albums, and they were only $10 a piece.
Oh, was the original Cold Gems label?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, I kept wanting to get back there so I can pick those up, but just haven't had the chance. Probably by the time I get there, they'll be gone. I should have bought them.
I had a discussion with somebody the other day. I think it was one of my musician friends that he collects old albums. Says, "Hey, yeah, man, I love the Monkees." Said, but I never heard of that Cold Gems label. And I was like, "Yeah, that's what it was because of the TV show. It was part of Columbia, so you had the Columbia Records and all that, and Screen Gems put together. So it was Cold Gems."
Yeah, makes sense. Dr. Von Chilla says, lunch today is good old BLTs. I fried 2 pounds of bacon this morning, so they're going to be loaded with swine. And Pauline is going to be in heaven, too. There you go.
Hey, what time should I be there, John? My BLTs.
The Von Chilla Cafe.
The Von Chilla Cafe.
I love it. We're all showing up there for lunch. Ranger Sly says Sikowski was the original artist on the JLA. Gray Man, he's saying. Cool beans. And Werewolf by Lunchtime says, I think Batman and JLA grew gray 60s, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Batman, but yeah, for sure JLA.
And Michael Taylor says, AA, Lee is looking through rows of mirrors for the killer.
Yeah.
Gray Man says, thanks, Ranger Sly and Werewolf by Lunchtime. I was just on his wiki page entry, too. Cool beans. Maranya says, I wish I could do a road trip for some of that bacon, John. Definitely spoil Lady Pauline with some of it. And John says, Gil Kane overappreciation? Is there such a thing? That's like Paul McCartney overappreciation.
Right. Totally agree.
Oh, Gray Man says, Sikowski also did another classic hero, Boana Beast.
That's right. Yeah, he did. Good call.
Gotta love Boana Beast, baby.
That was one of those house ad covers, man. It just, I have to have that book one day, and finally got it. So, yeah, that was a good character.
I think for some reason, I think they did a Boana Beast action figure, and I can't remember if I have one or not.
Yeah, he showed up on the Justice League Unlimited cartoon quite a bit.
Yeah. I think he did in Brave and the Bold too, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think in the late 80s when Grant Morrison was writing that Animal Man book, that like the first story arc had that character, and it was really good. Really good stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those characters that you and I, folks like you and I, just kind of gravitate to those obscure, weird characters like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just love them. AA says, Michael, I like Lee as Kato. Wish I could get the figurine, but way too pricey. And Michael Taylor says, Lee keeps getting slashed by the killer with his claw as he continues to look for the killer in the mirrors. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Gray Man says, I am the uncanny growing ever outwards man. I think there's many of us. We are legion.
We are legion.
Don't feel alone, Gray Man. You aren't alone. Ranger Sly says, what were the Avengers doing in Paris? Getting some croissants? That's a good point. Why are they over there? They were facing the invaders. Mike Taylor says, AA, remember those Lee magazines in the 70s that would open up into a poster? They were very cool.
I remember those.
Dr. Von Chilla says, the John Buscema Avengers is uber classic Silver Age Marvel. Goodness gracious. Yeah, he was, if I had to pick a Marvel artist, I would probably say he was my favorite Marvel artist. Other than Neil Adams, of course. Neil Adams is you know. But Buscema's art always, I've said it before, he could draw him just standing there like that, and it still looks like an action pose. Everything he draws was like action, man. I really, really love his work. Gray Man says, Giant Man / Goliath always had a glass jaw and goes down like a sack of suds in almost every fight he got into. I know, what can you do? He needs to toughen up. That's what he needed to do. Double A says, to answer Shannon, the Toro I meant was the reprint book of Young Allies, a trade paperback.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'll check that out.
I don't think I've seen that. I have some of the Captain America ones.
Yeah.
That I picked up quite a while, a year or so ago. But I didn't remember seeing a Young Allies one.
I love those trades and those hardbacks reprinting those old Golden Age stories.
Yeah. I'll have to look through and see if there's any in there. Cool beans. Thank you, August. Trusty Sidekick. How you doing, Trusty?
Good to see you.
Oh, so good to have you in the Peanut Gallery. He says, greeting. I can't do it like he does it. Greetings, true believers. He does the best Stan Lee impersonation ever.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Great to have you with us, Trusty, man. Appreciate it. Mike Taylor says, hey there, Trusty. And Dr. Von Tiller says, right, Gray Man. And Maranya says, Trusty. And Dr. Von Tiller is saying, greetings, Trusty. Gray Man says, yeah, Doc. There you go. And Doug Double A says, yes, Michael, I remember those Lee posters because I used to buy Monster Times tabloids during the 70s. Yes. Monster Times, man. Another great collectible. Maranya says, also known as a spot-on Prince John from the animated Robin Hood movie. I don't think I ever seen the Robin Hood movie. The Disney one. Michael Taylor says, Monster Times was great as well, Double A. Yes. Monsters Times. Dr. Montilla says, I'm getting a bit overexcited with all these Buscema Avengers.
Down, boy. Down, boy.
August says, yes, Michael, the Monster Times had fold-out posters too. Yeah. Yeah. That was just, did you get a chance to read many of those as a kid?
I think I had some cousins that had some, and I kind of leafed through. I don't have any myself. I don't know why, but it seems like one of the things I would have had. But yeah, I got to see a few of them. I
didn't get to see them around here as much, and I only had really one that I can think of as a kid, and it was the Destroy All Monsters one, because that introduced me to all the other monsters. The Japanese gaiju or whatever you want to call them, right. Monsters and whatnot. So, but it was just so cool that it had comic features in it and all the ads in the back of cool stuff you could buy. It was just really cool. Let's see here. The Jackson Morkirk says the Wrecking Crew was on the She-Hulk TV series. That whole show was a huge disappointment. There you go. I couldn't remember the show it was on. Thank you, Jackson.
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed with it. And then they had Daredevil on it and made him look like a man whore, So.
That really bothered me. I didn't understand where did that come from? That's not the character at all in any iteration that I know of.
In the new Daredevil series, it's the character that you recall.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I'd like to. I may have to pick up that just so I can see that series, because I really want to see that. Now, did the Punisher show back up in there too?
Oh yeah. In a big way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I like that guy who played the John Berthal or Bertham.
Oh,
yeah. I like it. He's in the accountant movies, the 2 accountant movies too.
I want to see that second one really bad because I love the first one.
Yeah, me too. And you never. I don't know about you, but I never heard a lot about the first accountant movie. I just stumbled upon it one time. Going through movies to watch action movies, and I decided to watch that. And of course, we have the comic book connection in there.
Yeah.
Remember, he's got a drawer full of like golden age comics that he would trade for money in order to do things.
It might have been Action Comics #1 or All American 16 with Alan Scott and all that. And I thought it was a cool little nod to the comic guys.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I'm like, oh, that's taking a chance. You're trying to, they say this guy's supposed to be a tough guy and he's wimping out because of comics. No, he didn't wimp out, man. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first one, and me and my wife both want to see the second one. Yeah. So hopefully we get to go here in the next month or so.
Right. Good deal.
But yes, Jackson, I agree with you. The Wrecking Crew was not my Wrecking Crew.
See, I watched that whole series and I can't even remember being on that. I just knew they were on something.
They were like young kids.
Yeah.
It's just no. Wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Michael Taylor says Monster Times had great poster centerfolds as well. Yes, they did, Michael. You are correct. Dr. Monchilla says, Shannon, if Kane is the Beatles, then Kubert is Led Zeppelin. And I mean that in the highest compliment, he says.
Oh, I got you, buddy. I got you. Yeah.
Cool beans. Michael Taylor says, I agree, AA. And AA says the Monster Times pages would sometimes tear at the creases, so you had to open the pages very gingerly. Yes. And the ones that I probably have a dozen issues of it now, and they are very, very brittle. You have to be really, really ginger with them.
Yeah.
So, I Am One of Us says Cool Avengers, Challengers of the Unknown covers and Avengers covers, Doc. It always nice to have 3 copies of a comic book. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. I got no explanation. I don't know. Michael Taylor says very cool books, Rod. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that as always, my friend. Maranya says Half Price is also an online store. And she puts the link up for it. Cool beans. Yeah. The site is for Half Price books. Cool. I will keep that. So, because I will check that out. Thank you, Maranya. Dr. Bonchilla says a photo of Jim Kelly and Shannon, the bass cannon. Gasp.
I can pull it down real quick.
Go ahead. I'll keep them busy. I'll keep them distracted with my poor pronunciation. Shannon, yes. Jim Kelly, a pretty good karate artist himself. And Maranya says, Jackson, I could take those 8 episodes of She-Hulk nonsense and make them into 4 perfect episodes with a bit of editing. Well, you need to get over there to Disney and do that, Maranya, because so far, what I've seen of that series was not good. And we need somebody to get over there and straighten them out. Dr. Montilla says, I have that VHS too, Ronnie. Oh, cool beans. Yeah, I'm finding all kinds of VHS stuff that I got in filing cabinets and stuff like that. And hey, Metarog is here. Hey, Metarog.
Metarog. Hey, Raj.
He says, hey, the true nerdy dynamic duo is back together again. Oh, Roger, great to have you with us, man. Oh, hope your Saturday's going well, my friend. All right, so show us the picture.
Well, first I had a little mini poster. He had a lot of movies in the 70s other than Enter the Dragon. This is one I enjoyed, and I think I got this on DVD. But it's called Black Belt Jones, and he autographed the poster for me.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of you kids that grew up in the 70s and watched a lot of the kung fu flicks and action flicks, I guess a lot of this stuff would be called blaxploitation, but it had this and what was Black Samson and 3 the Hard Way. I can't remember which one it was, but there was like a big kung fu fight inside of a car wash where they were like, had the bell bottoms and the big platform shoes, and they had soap all over, and they were kicking the crap out of each other. It was classic, man. Yeah, I got a picture with him. And I'll tell this little story. I started going to the con we have up here, and it's got kind of way too big for me now. But several years ago when it first started, he was like one of the first cons. And I got a VIP pass, so you get to get in an hour early and all that good stuff. And I was kind of, okay, I want to meet him, So, he had a guy, they always have like an assistant helping him out with the photos and autographs and stuff. And he showed up and he's like, sir, I'll be right with you. We're just going to say, hey, take your time. I'm here all day, Well, and I'm sure he got this a lot, but there was like some guy got behind me, and he's like, hey, man, what was it like to work with Bruce Lee? And I was like, man, you asked him the wrong question, because I'm sure, that he heard that like for years and years, what's it like to work with Bruce Lee? And I'm sure it was, he said, oh, it was great, man. And he's like, you could tell he was annoyed. He said, but I'll be right with you later, and I'm kind of like, no, dude, But anyway, he took a picture with me for free. There was another guy behind me, behind this guy, and he said, hey, man, you want me to snap a picture? I said, cool. So this is one of my treasured possessions right here.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy. And he saw this poster, and he's like, oh, man, I haven't seen one of those in forever. And he's like, yeah, I said, that was a cool movie. He said, I really enjoyed that one. I'm really glad I got to meet him, and it's kind of a bittersweet thing, because I didn't know at the time, but he had cancer. And 3 months after that con, he passed away. So really, really glad to have this photo with him.
Wow.
Really, really cool guy. Yeah.
Very neat. Very neat indeed. Cool beans. Oh. Alrighty. We got August Aesthetic saying, as far as the challengers, I remember when Red Ryan got blind, so his kid brother Dino Manelli donated an eyeball. Bizarrely, both guys could see through the same eyeball.
I remember that. Man.
And Dr. Von Chilla says, staying long with y'all today. The BLTs are already prepped. And if Mrs. Von Chilla can't assemble a sandwich on her own, then she's got more severe problems than I've ever imagined. He says, as he's laughing.
I got it ready. Now make your own.
Yeah. Double A says, I meant each other's eyeballs. Yep. And Maranya says, I honestly like Hawkeye when he was the leader of the West Coast Avengers. He had some wonderful character growth during that series.
Yeah. Yeah, did you get to read that Hawkeye miniseries they had out, like, I guess it was late 70s, early 80s?
I'm pretty sure I have it, because I can picture it in my head, but I probably haven't read it since.
It was like one of the first appearances of what was his girlfriend's name at the time?
Mockingbird.
Yeah, they met up in this issue, and she was like sort of like a villain. But the last issue, you see them ended up, they're like in a hot tub, and they just got married. So that's when they first got married in that series. So that was pretty cool.
Wow, I vaguely remember it, but like I said, I probably haven't read it since it came out.
Yeah. I think her first appearance was in a Marvel team up with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Let's see here. The Gray Man says that eyeball thing is bonkers, Double A. Rhonda says, John, if I was making those sandwiches for myself, over half of the bacon would be used. Oh, Double A says, in the local antique shop, I remember seeing a monkey's lunchbox. Do you gents also collect those vintage lunchboxes? I don't have any. I would if I could find. There's a couple that I would love to have, but I just I'd like to have a Green Hornet one. I'd like to have a Batman one. There was one with the Marvel superheroes that I remember having as a kid. That I would love to have, but they're so expensive.
Yeah, I would love to have a Monkeys lunchbox, because I'm a huge Monkeys fan, and I've got I did have a lot of collectibles. I sold a big part of them, but I'd like to have the Monkeys. I'd love to have a original Peanuts lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
Planet of the Apes. I would love to have a Planet of the Apes lunchbox, but I've looked at those online. I'm like, no, I have to mortgage something to get something like that. Like those Planet of the Apes Treehouse play sets, and $300 or $400 a piece. I'm like, no.
And when I think of that, I think of those things. I think of probably you think of the same person, Alan.
Oh yeah. After Comics, he's got a great comics collection.
Right. I mean, he's just got such an incredible display. He's got a museum-worthy collection, and he's got all kinds of the lunch boxes and stuff like that. Just incredible stuff. If you ever get a chance, go check out some of his videos. Check them all out. They're after comics, AFTA comics. Man, just an incredible collection.
Yeah, good stuff.
Dr. Von Chilla says, Maranya, MVC just brought me a BLT, but I sent it back for more bacon. You should have seen her face. Uh-oh. She's going to come back, throw it at you, Doctor. Michael Taylor says, I was just going to say that, Rod. It was cool when Monster Times incorporated superheroes later on. Yeah, it just was a good read. It was a fun read. Maranya says, my husband knows better with two things with me, John. Never skimp on bacon or meat or cheese. He knows what side the bread is buttered on. And Roger says, cool, Shannon, thumbs up.
Thank you, kind sir.
And Maranya says, hey there, Metarog. Mike Taylor says, I think Kelly was taught by Lee as well as countless of famous people. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, hey there, Roger. And Roger says, hi, Maranya. I'm late, but great to be here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Roger. Always nice to see you in the peanut gallery, brother. He says, hi to Werewolf. How is the house ownership going? Oh. And Dr. Von Chilla says, killer photo, Shannon. Standing with a true legend, he says.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got photos like with William Shatner and Lou Ferrigno, and probably that picture and a picture I've got with Alan Bellman, who was a Marvel Golden Age artist. It was like my two favorites.
Oh, cool beans. Very nice. Mike Taylor says, very cool poster, photo, and story, Shannon.
Thank you.
And Werewolf by Lunchtime says, it's great, mate. Just need to sort out my collection, which is fun and backbreaking at the same time. Yes, it is a labor of love.
We are well aware.
Yeah. And Werewolf by Lunchtime says, Roger. And Metarog is giving him the thumbs up. He says MTU 95, I believe. I think that's
exactly right. And I got mine autographed with a certificate of authenticity by Bob McLeod.
Oh, cool beans, cool beans. Maranya's put down the pause line. You got any more you want to show?
What time is it?
It is just almost 12:30.
12:30. I believe I'll cut it off here for me anyway.
All righty. Well, I'll just show a couple of little magazine things to take us to the 12:30 time. So hold on. Let's see. I'm even gonna put a big like that and just keep us together. So we're talking about the pulps.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
One. I only have a couple of them, but this was one of the ones I picked up. Detective. I remember the News Time with Superman.
Yeah. The Life and Death.
Yeah. And this thing is just this is an old advertisement thing. It was like a actual advertisement poster, mini poster of Batman and the Outsiders when they came out in the 80s. So I've kept that all these years. Monster Howls.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I didn't remember seeing this before, so it's like if I haven't seen it before, I got to pick it up. Werewolves and Vampires.
Nice. I might have one book to show.
I wonder, does this have a... This is a Charlton book. Charlton publication. I did not know that.
Yes, at one time, Charlton put out everything. Yeah, that's crazy.
And Monster Madness by Marvel, #1. And Vampire Tales by Marvel. No, this is by Curtis. Number 1, super annual. Looks like Morbius.
Yeah.
And one more. I'll show one more. Tales of the Zombie. I don't know if this is the same one you showed or not.
No. The only one I got of that for some reason is number 1. So, yeah,
So,
I love that character.
yeah. So there we go. Alrighty.
Yeah, I got one thing I can show. If I can find it here. Yeah, I was mentioning the new Daredevil show, and they actually have the White Tiger on there, and I think it's probably the first appearance of him is like what they say, like the first appearance of a Hispanic or Latino superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 19.
Oh yes.
And Metarog, I'm sure he's got all these. But yeah, first appearance of White Tiger was in this.
Is it George Perez?
With art by George Perez and Jack Abel. And you kind of see he finds the magic talisman, And then last page of that story, we have the first appearance of Bronze Tiger, White Tiger, yeah. So that's a cool page.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, White Tiger. I said, that's cool, And the guy that played him, for any of you Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fans, he was the actor that played Lalo on Better Call Saul. So it was pretty cool. And he was actually like an associate of Kingpin in that story. So, yeah. Yeah, just I hadn't looked at this online in a long time, and man, this book is getting outrageous, and I'm sure a lot of it's got to do with the TV show,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I always enjoyed that character.
Cool beans. All right, you can jump in. We'll alternate.
Okay, Double A says in Monster Times was the reviewer who said that Mad Magazine did a parody of Plastic Man. Do you gents have that parody? I do not.
I don't. I think I have exactly one Mad Magazine in my collection. It was a Batman parody cover, one of the movies, or it might be the first movie. I think that's the only Mad one I have. I have a couple of Mad paperbacks.
Yeah, I got a few of those, that Spy versus Spy stuff, and Al Jaffe, that comic strip artist. As far as Mad Magazine, I got a handful. Of course, the big one I have is the Planet of the Apes, where he's peeling off the apes mask, and it's what's the character's name? Alfred E. Newman.
Oh yes, yeah.
What, me worry? Yeah.
Gray Man says it's cool to buy a monkey's lunchbox if you can find one, but don't buy a monkey's paw. Words to live by.
You heard it here first, folks. And Werewolf says, Shannon, I have a lunchbox with leftover peanuts if you were interested. I appreciate the offer, but it might really not be the same thing.
Oh, hey, and Southern Comic Geek is with us once again.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
He says, what's up, folks?
Yeah, lots of people popping up today.
Just kind of hanging out, showing a few little things here and there. So great to have you with us, man.
Absolutely. And Jackson says, Meta Babe.
Michael Taylor says, I love the original metal lunchboxes in the 70s. I had a lot of the great TV show themed lunchboxes. My favorite part of back to school shopping. Yeah.
I do have one Planet of the Apes lunchbox, but it's from when they did the remake in the late 90s with Tim Burton. But no classic lunchboxes.
Yeah, I've got no vintage ones. I've got a Hulk one that was fairly new within the last few years, and I picked up another one. Was it Man Thing? I think it was Man Thing. No, it was Underdog. Somewhere. And now that was a fairly new one too. So it wasn't like what wasn't a vintage one anyway.
Yeah, Werewolf says Jackson.
And Metarog says, Jackson, fist bump.
And World says, sorry, my mistake. We don't make those on here.
Jackson Roykirk says, Hobbs.
And Jackson says, again.
Werewolf by lunchtime, he's laughing.
And he says, just messing.
And he says, I have cat hair on my phone as I type.
And Michael says, very cool werewolves and vampires mag.
Cool beans. Metarog, it is Morbius. Oh, so that was, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, boy, that sure does look like Morbius, but it says it's a, what is it? Curtis magazine? Curtis?
Yeah, that was Marvel's imprint.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow. See, learning stuff every day. Thank you. The Jackson Roykirk says Curtis is Marvel. Well, there you go. Thank you, Jackson, as well.
And Michael says, hey, Metarog.
Dr. Von Chilla says, the only lunchbox I've ever had was in first grade. It was a plush vinyl thing with Bugs Bunny on one side and Yosemite Sam on the other. Some kid tripped me in the lunchroom and shattered the thermos. Oh!
Ooh, well, that racking, fracking border I can roll down on the varmint.
You know, for years as a kid, I pronounced it Yosemite. Yosemite Sam.
So you were the same kid that called it submariner, right?
No, I got Submariner right. but I did for Yosemite, and I forgot where I learned. I think it was in school, something like a Yosemite Park or something like that.
Yosemite.
And I'm like, wait, that's Yosemite. Then it's like you're looking around like nobody knows I said it wrong. I said it right. You know, one of those.
And Curtis was the magazine distribution arm Marvel. Yes.
Cool beans. Thank you. Yeah, I did not know that. I think of Curtis and I'm thinking Dan Curtis, Dark Shadows, you know. This has been a Dan Curtis production. Metarog says, hi to Michael.
And Michael saying, very cool mags, Rod.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Metarog says, I do have the complete set of, what is that?
Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Oh, okay. All right, because I'm like looking at it like, is that the vampire thing? Or what?
Yeah, I knew Raj had the set. Yeah.
Cool beans. Wow, that's a nice run to have right there.
Yeah.
And Maranya says, hey there, SCG. Good to see you.
And Scotty Z Heavy says, I made it home.
But did you get comics? We want to know.
We want to know.
And Maranya says, good to hear, Scotty.
And Dr. Von Chill says, got to go, y'all. It's starting to rain. It's time for my nap. Hope to see y'all again soon. In the meantime, please love yourselves. And you as well, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Good to see you once again, John. Take care. Have a great rest of your week and weekend.
Absolutely.
Scotty says, eating ice cream.
And Michael says, yeah, I enjoyed Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Saul was a spinoff of Breaking Bad. Yeah, I knew that.
I never watched any of those shows, but I have seen bits and pieces and clips on shorts on my phone and stuff. But I've never seen the show.
It's a great show, yeah. My son first mentioned Breaking Bad to me, and I knew it was on TV, and I was like, really? It's about meth dealers? I was like, but once he's like, believe me, it's your kind of show. So I watched about 2 episodes, and I was hooked, you know. And like all the spinoffs from that, you know, like Better Call Saul, and they even made a movie after Breaking Bad. It's called El Camino about it. It was actually really good.
Huh. Scotty says, ice cream, hard to type on a keyboard with one hand. It's hard for me to type anything, whether it's 2 hands or 1 hand.
And Fanboy Prime's in the house. Welcome, sir.
How you doing, Fanboy? Great to have you with us once again.
Yeah, he says, hello, fabulous gentlemen. Hello, fantastic chat people. And to you as well, sir.
Yes. Hope your weekend's going well. Cool beans. Michael Taylor says goodbye to John.
And Scotty says, I've always wanted the Heathcliff metal lunchbox. Good stuff.
And the gray man says, I have a Fallout 4 lunchbox.
Nice.
My son, I know, played Fallout, that whole Fallout series.
Yeah. Have you watched the show?
We bought it to him once.
You watched any of the show?
No.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's a post-apocalyptic thing. Yeah. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Clint, we bought him the game just because we were looking for Christmas presents, and we knew he played video games, but we had no idea what type were his thing or whatever. So we bought him a couple different ones, and that was one of them was the Fallout game, one of the early Fallout games, and he fell in love with it. He loves it, and he's mentioned the TV show. He likes it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got Walt Goggins in it, man. He's a great actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What is that on? What channel is it on?
I can't remember if it's on Amazon or Max.
Oh, yeah, it might be on Amazon because I know he has Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be on that. Yeah.
Cool.
And Michael Taylor says, hey, Fanboy Prime.
He also says, great show. Had a blast, Rod, Shannon, and fellow chatters. Have a great weekend and upcoming week. And you as well, Michael. Thank you once again for being here, my friend.
Appreciate you.
Double A says, at a local collector's fair, someone was selling a Zorro thermos, but no lunchbox. Usually it's the thermos that gets lost. Yep. But this time it was the lunchbox that was missing.
Mm.
Yep, that's usually the hardest part if you're trying to get a vintage one.
Right.
I agree.
And I'm one who says I still have my Bonanza lunchbox. I use it. Yeah, nice.
Very nice. Yeah, cool beans. I am one of us.
And
Eric Green, he says, sorry I missed the show. Was doing the comics aficionados. Oh, I'll have to watch that. I love to watch him when he's on there.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that's where I get my insights on what's going on in the comics world. But there's something else he just did. Oh, he just did a show with I can't think of the people, but he did it about wrestling, about the WrestleMania weekend and stuff like that. And it was so cool to hear his take on the whole wrestling thing like that. So at one point I was thinking of doing like a wrestling show and having Eric join me and stuff like that, but I just never got a chance to get it off the ground. But maybe someday.
Yeah, that would be fun. I wouldn't mind being in on that.
Actually,
funny, I just saw a couple of videos about Macho Man, and people were asking, said, did he always, that voice was like his real voice, you know? And then it showed him like doing some interviews, like he was speaking in an almost normal voice, but it was still like a, you know, that growl type thing. Then it showed Lanny, you know, his brother, and he says, yeah, he didn't talk that way normally, but all that came from yelling and marijuana.
Wow. Oh, man. Throw his brother right under the bus.
Right. And Temple Samar says, is it radiation proof, Gray Man? My yellow submarine one isn't waterproof.
Oh, cool bean. Miranda says, hey there, fanboy.
And Scotty says, no comics. The flea market has so few. There's one guy that sells them for way too much. I did get some 12-inch G.I. Joe figures, my latest focus. Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Those are cool. G.I. Joes. That's from my era of G.I. Joes, the 12-inch fully posable ones and stuff. Great stuff, Scotty. Eric Green says Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, he says.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, that's true. Yep. And Ron says, how'd that go, Eric? Did Lady Coco Lumpbottom get some screen time?
Oh, that's funny. Lady Coco Lumpbottom. Eric Green says she did. Oh, too funny.
And Scotty says, I was in the TV series Breaking Wind. Not sure if it was a spinoff of Breaking Bad.
Oh, no. Miranda says, when my husband has beans, his breaking wind series is Breaking Bad. Oh, no. We've gone off the rails.
Ages of this show, things kind of start breaking down. You notice that. And Werewolf says, better Werewolf. Yeah, I see how it's breaking down already. Better call Jackson. He knows where to get the good stuff.
Scotty says, post-apocalyptic. I feel like I'm I feel like I'm in a post-apocalyptic world when I go into the big city.
And Jackson's giving a thumbs up.
There you go. And the Jackson Roykirk says, okay, gang, heading out. Have a great weekend and week ahead, everyone. Thank you so much, Jackson. Great to have you here once again, my friend. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. Whoops. Double click. Mike Taylor says, very cool. I am one of us.
And Rob's in the house. Triple C. He's got a show coming up. Yep. Says, darn, I missed the show. Have a great weekend, everyone. And you as well, sir.
Yep. It's 12:45. So everybody grab your chairs. Get on over to Triple C's channel. Get some comics for $3 at the auction. You can't beat him. Great. He's got some great books. I was in watching last weekend, and he had some really cool stuff. So definitely get over to his auctions whenever you can, because he's got plenty of really cool books to offer. And free shipping. You can't beat that. Come on. So get over there right now. Get in the front row. All right, Rob. Great to have you with us. Take care, my friend. Triple C.
And August Aesthetic says, now that Rod mentioned Yosemite Sam, it reminded me of the Lone Ranger's disguise as the old prospector, remember?
Yes, I do remember that episode. Believe it or not, I do remember that. I saw it not too long ago.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh, wow. Yeah, very cool. And Grayman says, no, Tempest from Mars. It's a ripoff.
And World says, ask them to start again, Eric.
Marina says, I got told that I'm mean by him, Rod, but I'm truthful. No. We're all here. We all get along.
And Marina says, hey there, Triple C.
And Marina says, take care, Rod, Shannon, the Peanut Gallery, the Nuts of the Day, the Foofs, the studio audience, and Marina's legion of peanut pets. Stay safe, cool, and hydrated, everyone. And thank you very much, Marina. Great to have you back with us. So glad you're feeling better. So we will see you next week.
And Scott says, oh, but the other flea market has comics that I buy, but I go there on Thursdays. It's indoor. Nice.
Oh, cool beans. Hey, Jason. How you doing, Jason?
Yep, we're just getting ready to check out. Good to see you, as always.
Yeah, he says, you still on? Hey, guys. Oh, Brian says, hey, Jason.
And Robert says, happy trails until. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, thanks so much, Robert. I got to check out Robert's. He's put up a comic video, I see, and his usual movies. I started to watch the movie ones, but I didn't. I got to be honest, I fell asleep, not because of anything to do with his video. I was just wiped out. But I've got to go back and watch that. So I'll be checking those out soon, Robert. And the gray man, Rod, pronounces Yosemite like a Gentile greeting a Jewish person. Yosemite. Oh, man. You're killing me, gray man. You're killing me.
And Jay says, hey, Moran, you hope your free comic book day's been good.
Have you been up there in Rochester, Jason, this morning to see what's going on? Jason says, yes, I'm just popping in at home, Rod, real quick. We ran around, free comic book day, going back in a minute, but my daughter's done. Yeah, because there's a lot of walking around there. So God bless you for being able to do it. I can't no more. So that's cool beans. I may go up to the Knights of Columbus building when we get off here to see what's going on there, see the artists, and maybe pick up some books. We'll see. So hopefully I can see you there. So, all right. And I think that catches us up with everybody. That does indeed. Yep.
All right.
So what you got going on this week? Anything special?
This weekend, I'm just going to try to take it easy. Like I was telling you earlier, we've got a gig Monday night at a Mexican restaurant called Jalapenos because it's Cinco de Mayo. Celebrating that. And from what I haven't played there before, but a few of the people I play with have, and they said it's a great place and they treat you well. You know, the money and the food's good. So, you know, it'll be right after work. So I'll just have to bring my clothes and head right there. So, but it should be fun.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
How about yourself?
I don't have anything on the docket. This week is free.
Good deal.
Till I check my calendar and see I got about 5 different doctor appointments.
Stop that, yeah.
That seems to be how it works out sometimes, but that's all right. So, but other than that, no, it's just gonna again hope for warmer weather where I can get down here and put some of this mess away.
Yeah, I was clean a couple of weeks ago. Now, not so much.
I know that feeling also well. Oh, what else we got? We got Scotty's coming in here. Tomorrow is Star Wars Day, and he also says Mother's Day is May 11th. So,
oh yeah. I'll be at my mom's that day, and I was born on Mother's Day actually, so the next day will be my birthday. But we usually kind of celebrate that day together.
I'm gonna see about taking my mom out for a lunch. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. And I think her birthday is either on the same day as Mother's Day or it's right around it. I can't remember. And my dad's was always on Father's Day or either side of it. Cool, yeah. So it was weird like that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking forward to doing that. So, and then next Saturday morning, we'll be right back here with you and we'll show some more.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So on behalf of myself and Rodney the Leatherman, a.k.a. Yosemite Sam, the riffiest riff to ever riff a raff, we bid you guys adieu.
You got it. Couldn't have said it any better myself. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you back here next week. We'll do it all over again. Same bat time, same bat channel. So, everybody, have a great week.
And so, once again, our triumphant twosome have made the world a safer place in which to live.